Denver returns to the playoffs, and Minnesota, another of those teams. And there's the steal, and James.
And you mentioned Milicic. Larry Brown every day works diligently with him. It's not that he's just on the pines there during the game. They do drill him extensively every day. And turnover here again. And look at the numbers.
Corliss to finish. Red wanted the ball, had him on the wing.
Well, gets back,
giving it to him.
Gets back to your point. Another turnover with Ford not out there and the open opportunity. Ooh, emphatically.
There's another turnover. Hamilton on the move. Tap back, no, and a putback.
Bucks ended up with the number 6 seed. They actually had 3 chances to clinch the number 4 spot, home court advantage in the first round, but they lost their last 3 and lost their final game to Toronto on a 3-point shot by Jalen Rose in the final seconds. And the Pistons get right to it. Rasheed Wallace from Richard Hamilton.
But when you know that you can dominate certain areas, and one certainly is size with the Pistons, you can run up and set up all kinds of special plays, and when they work, they look terrific. The opening tip, basically a give and go off the opening tack.
This is Red being played by Hamilton. The shot clock down to 4. Here is Mason. Over. And back comes Hamilton. Playing with that face mask protecting the broken nose. Fritz. They swing it. Phillips. Down low. Wallace.
Mark, I know that Michael Redd is counted on for a large part of the offense. You see the lob and the great catch and finish that time.
Kukoc with a nice fake. Stolen by Billups. Chased by Skinner. Ben Wallace, the trailer, has given the Pistons a 1-point lead. Terry Porter needs a timeout. Reba Knight is on it. It's been Mason showing the touch. 9 points for Mason, and the Bucks lead 34-32. Just under 6 minutes remaining. First half.
Reba Knight with 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 points thus far as he has come in and really done a good job of running the show for Milwaukee.
Hamilton able to find it home. Tony in his 11th NBA season. He's 35 years old. He spent 6.5 years with the Bulls, a member of 3 of their championship teams.
One of the free agents, as we see Wallace finish it off underneath. Or you mentioned earlier that in the beginning of the season, many people thought this Bucks team was going to be a disaster this season. They had lost too many of their star players. They've traded too many away.
Rebounded by Smith, able to protect it. After that good start, the Bucks lost 14 of their last 22 games and ended up at the 500 mark and blew an opportunity at home court advantage in this first round as they lost their last 3 games of the regular season. Here's the Mason. Ben Wallace and Joe Smith, Milwaukee controlling as Damon Jones throws it across, and he's met by Chauncey Billups.
I would think, Marv, that Larry Brown is looking immediately to see the aggressive level of play from his team at the defensive end, number 1, and offensively smart.
Shot clock is down to 2. Good play by Smith, reaching in. Here is Red for 3. In game 2, Milwaukee out-rebounded Detroit, 48-37, able to turn it around from game 1, and you can see what they have done on the offensive glass. Here is Red. Michael Red with that quick release. And Larry Brown has to be happy with the execution. He said that was a problem the other day. He said we were out there playing like strangers. Off the spin, Mason. Kept alive by Skinner. Continues to hustle his way. There's the lob. Desmond Mason from Damon Jones. And the Bucks lead at 16-8.
Well, I was starting to say on the out-of-bounds play a few moments ago that during the regular season, they run that every so often during the course of the game, either from the out-of-bounds or as a set play. They love to send Mason to the rim. He's terrific at catching and finishing.
Billups rejected by Smith. It is bedlam here at the Bradley Center. What a start by the Bucks. Detroit falling extra time.
We talked about the catch and finish ability of Mason. Well, the pass is perfect, timing is perfect, the finish is great, and at the defensive end, there's the presence, Joe Smith protecting the front of the rim. Damon Jones has range, obviously, on his shot. He thinks more shot than he does pass. He is a problem when Detroit makes shots and gets into its press in the full court because he doesn't handle the pressure as well as Knight. Knight does different things.
Wallace not able to hit the three. Prince ending up with the ball in his hands. A 36% shooter from beyond the three-point line. He's 9 points, hitting 3 of 3 from downtown. Here's Red on that quick release. Now Detroit on the break. Phillips taking all the way. Nice move. And Horn. Hunter going for the ball. Van Horn for 3. Yes! Keith Van Horn from downtown.
Against the Bucks half-court defense. Normally, Williamson in the post area. Mike James with the three-point shot hits it for Detroit. You mentioned Kukoc, and you immediately start to think about points with Tony. He had 15 points in Game 2 instead of 8 in Game 1, but the big area, rebounds. 9 big rebounds for Kukoc in Game 2 after coming up with just 2 in Game 1.
Here's Red. And Hunter gets it off in time.
See a little run and jump action right there, trying to force the turnover by Knight. A wide open shot as a result of it in the corner for Michael Red, who hits the 3.
Knight taking all the way. It counts. And the foul. What a move by Brother Knight.
He doesn't let the pressure defense get to him, and when he finds a big man rotate up to him the way Williamson did that time, then it's easy to go by him with the crossover, and he has the beautiful left-handed finish. He's pumping his fist from the floor.
Brother Knight and his Red and Jones at the guards with Kukoc, Smith, and Mason up front. Here's Red reversing. Look to go glass, rebounded by Prince.
One of the pluses of Prince, he can take it coast to coast, rebound, and push it down the floor.
Although that did not look pretty, lost the handle. Back comes Kukoc, takes all the way, rejected by Prince. Kukoc thought he was fouled.
Think about that play by Prince. He got the defensive rebound, led the fast break, turned it over, and went down and blocked the shot at the other end, and now shoots the 3 and makes it. What a series.
Skinner going at Ben Wallace. Wallace comes up with a block shot.
One of the best that there is at blocking his own man's shot, which doesn't happen very often. Normally shot blockers get other people's shot. That time straight up, Wallace went and got it.
Ben Wallace, his first rejection, and here is Phillips. Remember, Chauncey Billups is back from a sprained left ankle, sat out Detroit's last 4 games, and then returned for Game 1 of this series last Sunday. Here comes Billups. Billups played by Jones. Here's Prince. Hamilton. Guarded by Red. Hamilton. Yes.
Maybe Larry Brown said, you know what, forget about trying to get our big guys involved. Let's wake our guards up here to start the second half. And we see a couple baskets by Billups, then Hamilton starting to get the backcourt involved once again.
7 straight points by the Pistons to open up this third quarter. Jones trying to draw a foul. Back comes Billups, leaving Jones behind him. And Wallace. The Pistons with their first lead of the game.
Yeah, but he did a real smart thing. He surrounded himself with basketball guys who have been in coaching a lot of years. Mike Shula, Bobby Otsika, Jim Todd, and then Sam Mitchell.
It counts in the foul. Richard Hamilton. Fouled by Michael Red.
I'm saying, you go back to this replay of Hamilton taking the ball to the basket. He winds up getting Red in the air with a little pump.
And you see that 22-4 run by Detroit. They lead by 9. Here's Phillips to the crossover, going glass, yes, and the foul. Mason. Going glass. He thought he was fouled. Couple of beautiful moves by Desmond Mason. It's an 8-point game, and the Pistons want to talk. Just under 2 minutes remaining in the third. Prince backing his way on red. Shot clock to 4. Phillips. And here come the Bucks. Mason with the lead. Red. It's a 2-point game. Pistons lead by 5. They stay with James and Hunter, Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Tayshaun Prince up front. Chauncey Billups getting set to check back in. We have not seen much of Richard Hamilton in the second half. The steal by Mason. Desmond Mason tomahawks it down. Now Richard Hamilton has been a forgotten man. Getting set to check back in. Mason able to raise up and drill it. 77-73, Detroit. Quick release by Billups. Kept alive. And now Joe Smith gets to it. Coach. The lead for Red. Yes. It's a 2-point game. They had 3 chances to clinch the 4th seed and home court advantage in the first round, but lost their last 3 games. Here's pressure being shown by Milwaukee. Pistons up by 4. They're down to 10 on the shot clock. Just under 6 to go in the 4th quarter. Hamilton comes the hop. Now Van Horn defending on Rasheed Wallace with some help. Hamilton and a nice over-the-head pass. Hamilton on the run. The look away to Prince. Beautiful pass. And Wallace for Tayshaun Prince.
Mason's game is primarily, oh, there's the beautiful feed pass and finish by Prince.
Shot clock. Now down to 3. Damon Jones has to fire and scores. Jones from downtown. Shot clock to 5. Okor eluding Kukoc. Mehmet Okor in this 4th quarter. Hamilton. That will do it. The Pistons with a 109-92 win to take a 3-1 lead in this best of 7. Mason with a nice pass, and Smith able to put it down.
Terry Porter's very honest. He said, look, if we're going to have a chance to beat Detroit, we have to shoot the ball exceptionally well. You said they've gotten off to this hot 7 of 10 start. That's the only way they're going to have a chance to really shoot the thing.
Beautiful pass. And that pass intercepted by Ben Wallace. Chauncey Billups backs to 3-point territory. Billups met on a switch by Skinner. Nice pass. Smith has to hurry. Skinner with a good box out. Here is Damon Jones for 3. Pistons in the midst of a 7-0 run. Billups. Rasheed Wallace able to short hop it.
Those are the balls that Milwaukee has to get to first. Anything that hits the rim comes out long. The guards have to come back into the foul line area. Make sure that you don't give the Pistons another scoring opportunity.
2 minutes until
Hamilton.
Milwaukee going to their zone right now, hoping that perhaps the Pistons will miss a couple jumpers.
Jones trying to unload, broken up by Ben Wallace. Prince ahead of the field. Tayshaun Prince extends to a 9-point Piston lead. other members of the Pistons. We talked earlier about Tayshaun Prince, how his game has expanded since Rasheed joined the team. Mason. And back comes Hamilton. 3-on-2. Prince from Hamilton. And it appears Larry will stay with Hamilton.
He's got one to play with here. He can let him stay here until he gets that fourth.
Hamilton able to pick it off. Prince, same combination. Pistons lead by 10. Mason spinning into a crowd. 3-on-1. Here's Hamilton. Terry Porter wants to talk it over. Timeout, Milwaukee.
So it was Hamilton, Prince, and then it's Prince to Hamilton at the end. And you see the speed and quickness of this group when they get out in front. The 1, 2, and 3 spots. The nice bounce pass, the finish by Prince, and then returning the favor. Hamilton takes the pitch ahead pass, finishes with the reverse.
Nice pass. And Wallace to Tayshaun Prince. Our staff says we will get another look at that tag. 51-39, Pistons. Here's Jones. David Jones from downtown. David Jones, a one-time member of the Pistons with his first field goal tonight. He was 3 for 3 from three-point territory. In game 4, 6 of 6 overall. Very quiet to this point.
Jones averaged 11 points after the first 4 games. At the half, 0 points for Jones.
Phillips, as Jones hit the floor. Jones felt he was fouled. Pistons lead 53-42. Jones and Red at the guards. Van Horn is up front with Mason and Smith. Here is Red.
Defense is the key to success.
I thought you would say all 5 are still alive in the playoffs.
The lob and finish by Rasheed.
That's just a great fact. Your life is an idle thought. Coming up on 5 minutes remaining in the third. And the Pistons lead by 9. Red coming up short. And here's it from the crowd. Pistons remain the same following the timeout. Tony Kukoc has come on for Milwaukee. Hamilton. Oh, it's Tayshaun Prince with the follow. And he continues his superb play. 7 of 11, 16 points, 9 rebounds,
Second time while we've seen Prince come in from the right side. Nobody put a body on him, block him out, and he's capitalized both times with scores.
Here's Red for 3, another air ball. Consecutive air balls thrown up by Michael Red. Phillips on the penetration.
Can't figure out the puzzle. You cannot find a way to get yourself enough points to compete in the game. It becomes frustrating for the staff, frustrating for the players, obviously.
Here is Phillips. Yes. Coming up on 2 minutes to play in the third. Marv Albert, Lazar, Mike Fratello, Charles Davis. We're at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Better than 22,000 on hand. Another sellout. Here's Hamilton with the bucket. Yes. And it counts. Minute and a half to play in the third. Here is Kukoc. And Wallace with the save, but into the hands of the Bucks, and Michael Red able to score. Prince working off the screen. Yes.
What a difference having some range shooters makes on basketball teams. You spread the defense out. They've got to respect guys that get back behind the three-point line, at least have the ability to make it from back there. And then it opens up all sorts of other things. Dribble penetration, pick and roll game, kicking into the post. Oh, nice pass.
What a play by
Milwaukee coming down, trying to figure out a way to get or create a shot. By the time they get the first pass to Michael Redd to begin the offense, it's under 10 seconds already.
That will count, and the foul. Coming up on 5 minutes remaining in the fourth. Detroit's lead is now 12. Backdoor pass for Hamilton. Beautiful. His feet has been off. And Redd, another Mason not able to hit with Ben Wallace right there. Oh, what a pass. Phillips for Ben Wallace. Here is Rasheed Wallace. He comes off a 4 of 16 shooting game. It's been a long layoff for the Nets. They last played a week from last night when they completed that sweep over the New York Knicks. They've had 8 days off, and that certainly did not hurt the physical status of both. As Larry Brown particularly upset after game 2. That was a game won by the Bucks here in Detroit. He said, we were strangers out there. We just did not execute well, and Ben Wallace did not get the ball. Rasheed Wallace looking much better than what we saw in game 5.
Well, as soon as Harris came in, you saw them trapped in.
Oh, Tayshaun Prince off the line.
You see Jason Kidd throw those passes all the time. You don't give Hamilton enough credit for his passing ability.
Mike James and Lindsey Hunter as they're checked in for the first time. Nice play.
You know what amazes me about Larry Brown? There's the steal. We talked about it. If you put the ball out in front of him, he's going to try and find a way to take it from you. Lindsey Hunter with the steal, Prince with the layup.
Beautifully done between Hunter and Prince, and the Nets have to talk. 10-point Detroit lead with 5.5 to play in the first half. And Wallace back on the floor. Wallace with Prince and Okor up front. Rasheed Wallace sitting a long time after picking up that second foul. Here is Prince. Just under a minute remaining in this first half. And Williams had it knocked away. That was not the kind of spacing that Lawrence Frank looking for. Here's Phillips for 3. Rebounded by Hamilton. Hamilton gets inside. They have seen a total of 62 points. An NBA playoff low for a first half. Kenyon Martin gets right to it to open up this third quarter. And the Nets have tightened it up defensively in these opening minutes. Kittles from downtown. I'm sure on the mind of Tayshaun Prince. It is written in every story running down this series when you see the various matchups position by position. The fact that Jefferson dominated Prince. Shot clock down to 7. Here is Jefferson. Prince fouled by Kittle. Oh, he scores! Will he get the continuation? Yes, he will! What a shot by Tayshaun Prince!
By the field goal percentage of Detroit, they're shooting 49% from the floor. That means that you're not getting a lot of fast break opportunities, and here's one of them for New Jersey.
And Jason Kidd is able to convert. The Pistons winning 54 games in the regular season. They finished 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference. However, the Nets placed at number 2 because they won the division. Elton Campbell. It's a 16-3 run for the Pistons. Here's Kittles, rejected by Ben Wallace. Hamilton is on it. Pistons on every loose ball. Hamilton pulls it up and able to recapture. Now Lindsey Hunter says, let's regroup, and a timeout call by Larry Brown.
In this situation, Billups likes to pull up for a three.
Billups. Oh, beautiful. Driving shot by Billups. Final seconds. Up the court. Here's Kidd from way downtown. Shot clock is down to 2. Here is Martin. Kenyon Martin. That's only his third field goal. Went through the tumultuous signing and departure of Eddie Griffin and Jefferson. The sale of the team. The announcement of the eventual move to Brooklyn. Byron Scott fired. Lawrence Frank took over. Team reels off 13 straight wins, 14 including the previous game. And they sweep the Knicks in the opening round. Here's Rasheed Wallace. They have the 8-day layoff.
There was a stretch during the regular season where Scalabrine was the first big man sub for Larry Franks and the team here. Lawrence Franks and the team.
And the crowd reacts as Darko Milicic makes his way to the scorer's table. Hamilton. Pistons now lead 73-53, 15 points for Hamilton. So Darko, a first-round draft pick, the second pick overall in the draft, and a controversial choice with the Pistons selecting Milicic over Carmelo Anthony.
And don't be surprised if you see Detroit, if they score, or even if they don't, take a foul right away to get those guys in the game. Billups looked over at Larry Brown. Larry didn't see him looking that time because Billups wanted to know if he wanted to take a foul or not.
Well, there is a foul. The basket will count. Williamson in the pocket. Playoff low, the record low is 54 points. And Tamar Slay is able to hit, so the Nets will not go into the books, as they now have 56 points.
Richard Jefferson responded after that 1-for-12 shooting performance on Monday, and he chuckled and said, "You never have to worry about Richard Jefferson's confidence." And Jefferson, in fact, said, "I'd love to get those same looks again tonight that I got in Game 1.
Tayshaun Prince was lit up by Richard Jefferson in the regular season. Jefferson, as Michelle mentioned, 1 of 12 in Game 1. Threw it to Martin, who tried to throw it down. He's begging for a foul, not getting one. And here come the Pistons 3-on-2. Billups the take.
You can't try to take a 16-footer away just so you can get to the rim.
Jason Kidd 0 for 2 from 3, 0 for 5 for the Nets in the first 2:40.
I haven't seen a good shot from New Jersey yet.
Chauncey Billups jump pass to Rasheed Wallace. Nice. Nice.
Oh, there's really no way to put it, is there?
Nice strip by Kittles. Here come the Nets on the break. Kenyon Martin.
That is one thing New Jersey did do well in Game 1. They created some transition with turnovers. Detroit had 19 turnovers. Larry was very concerned about that in their offense. They think they can play better offensively than they did in Game 1.
From 6-0 to 6-6, Detroit the first 6. The Nets respond with a half dozen. Ben Wallace out to bump Kidd. Chauncey Billups has to shoot over Collins. Hamilton gets the rebound, and the Pistons will wait for a good one. They'll get it with a Wallace 3. Rasheed Wallace, who is now 7 of 22 from behind the line in these NBA playoffs.
Interesting the fact that for the last 5 years we talked about the West being the best because they're the biggest.
Yep.
Look at the two best teams in the Eastern Conference. They imported Western Conference big men, Jermaine O'Neal and Rasheed Wallace.
Both on the same team in Portland for 4 years for Jermaine out there. Well, there's Kenyon Martin.
And I think a key stat tonight is going to be field goal attempts. New Jersey needs to get their field goal attempts up near 80. Last game it was 70. They need more field goal attempts than Detroit.
Deflection by Ben Wallace.
They had 19 deflections in the first half in Game 1.
Rip a 2. (13-10). Neither team has made a substitution. Hamilton is hot. Tayshaun Prince, guarded by Kenyon Martin, feels he could take advantage inside. Hit to Billups for 3.
That's a three-pointer that comes late in the shot clock that I think Larry likes and really likes, and Chauncey knocked it down.
Well, remember, if you go back to Larry's Philadelphia teams, they really disdained the three-pointer. Kenyon Martin from the outside.
I think it's kind of unique that most coaches like to bring offense off their bench, and Larry Brown brings a defensive unit off their bench. Now they got Darvin Ham probably for the last possession.
And Eldon Campbell as Jason Kidd works it inside. Nice feed. Mehmet Okur in for Detroit. Nets break the press. Oh. Kenyon Martin attacks the rim again.
Well, no Ben Wallace, no Rasheed Wallace. It's time to take it in there and make him pay.
With Eldon Campbell and Okur as the interior presence for Detroit. Nets lead by 5. Easy. Hunter tried to take Kittles. Can't get the runner inside. Good job by Kittles to tap it out, but Eldon Campbell went over the top to keep it alive, and Williamson finishes. Eldon Campbell to Lindsey Hunter. And Rodney Rogers on the glass. Look at Richard Jefferson sprinting. He got him to Williams. That was all made by the speed of Richard Jefferson sensing a break. And Jason Kidd passed it.
You know, I think Jason Kidd may be the fastest player with the ball ever to play the game. He may be faster with the ball than without, if that's possible. But he just flies.
9 to shoot. Detroit struggling on the offensive end with this group out there. Campbell up and under. Mehmet Okur, the weak side rebound. And remember, when Jason Kidd and Kenyon Martin were hurt in the middle part of March, Harris and Rogers started, and they at least gained more offensive confidence and played pretty well. Two All-Stars. What a pass from Kidd, and Aaron Williams with his second throwdown. Largest lead of the series for the Nets.
That was awesome. That was just an awesome pass.
And a great dunk, too. Yeah. I mean, Aaron Williams has some spectacular dunks.
Man, I don't know why this guy leads the league in assists. He knows where guys are going to be and lets them go get it.
Rasheed Wallace spins and turns. Hunter got the rebound. Pistons reset. They're looking for offense. The Prince of the Palace. Tayshaun missed the three. Kidd with Jefferson on the right. The ball movement so much more crisp for New Jersey tonight. Lucius Harris chases down his miss. Jefferson just 1 of 4. After 1 of 12 from the field in game 1, the step through, the find of Harris. And it is all hustle for New Jersey as they lead by 8. And the Pistons going to take time out here. Nets led 9-5 in game 1. That was their biggest lead. Another steal by Kidd. Jefferson left side. Well, if you're just tuning in tonight, the Nets are going to the rim. They are aggressive. They look like the team that won 14 consecutive Eastern playoff games until Monday night's embarrassing loss. Richard Jefferson hit his 3rd field goal. He and Kenyon Martin have 19 of the Nets' 36 here tonight.
Get out of the fast break, get some easy buckets, makes the jump shots all that easier.
Phillips doubled, nearly turned it over. Richard Hamilton was there, though, 8 to shoot. And the Nets' half-court defense has been brilliant thus far tonight. All one-on-one, no easy shot. But Phillips makes a tough runner.
I think Phillips is recognizing right now they need someone to get hot, need someone to get aggressive. And the last couple possessions, he's been the guy.
Two-man game, Kenyon and Kidd. They swing it to Jefferson with Williams. Kidd missed his 3 outside shots, make it 0 for 4. They bang the gong for a Wallace rebound, Ben's 5th. Rasheed Wallace thought about 3. To Chauncey Billups for 2. Timeout Nets.
A lot of the coaching staff for Detroit thinks Billups is the key to their basketball team. The last 3 possessions, down a lot of points, he has shown up and given them a good spark to get him back into this basketball game.
Bad ankle in the playoffs last year, healthy this year. The former number 3 overall pick of the Celtics has scored the last 7 points, taking a double-digit deficit down to 6.
Well, I think it was a great spurt. 3 possessions in a row. He's made 3 baskets and a great, he's been controlled by Larry Brown.
Oh, did Martin get that? They left Rasheed Wallace free. Rimmed it out, hit the board. Look at all the blue shirts. It's like a wave from left to right. Jason Kidd for three. Tayshaun Prince has been held scoreless. He's 0 of 4 from the field. Jefferson on the run. Rasheed Wallace, a great block.
You know, much like Joe Montana playing QB, he just sees things before they happen.
Turned it over there. Here's Michelle. You lose a game, you do everything you can as a coach. Sometimes it's the extreme of not going home. Sometimes it's the other extreme to get your guys back on track.
I think he's got to show that he's not desperate. And I think, you know, you have habits where you stay up all night, you watch film, and you watch it again, and then you watch it again. He's showing a good discipline, a commitment, and he believes in his basketball team.
The 33-year-old Frank, who is, as Billups takes a three and missed it. Nice rebound. Ben Wallace to Hamilton. The Pistons cannot hit tonight. Kenyon Martin's had a great half. One-on-one on Wallace. He traveled. But we maybe have a foul first called by Danny Crawford. We do. A foul before and a technical foul has been called on Rasheed Wallace. Wallace walked away from Danny Crawford, was upset with the call, but Joe DeRosa called a tee on Rasheed. Here's the call. Foul before the travel. Baseline official Davy Jones had the travel. Danny Crawford had the foul on the outside. And now three Pistons in conversation with Joe DeRosa as to why he called the technical that Jason Kidd does not convert.
Well, Rasheed walked away, but was still animated, and it was called by a referee observing him. He was not going after Danny. He walked away. I'm not sure. I think sometimes because of Rasheed's
did they call a second one on him? Wait, who did they call the second one on here? Larry Brown or Rasheed Wallace? Called on Larry Brown. All right, so it's a technical on the Pistons head coach.
And I like that technical.
That first technical stinks because Rasheed Wallace is walking away. If he wants to be animated and upset, but he's not right in your face, and if anybody should have called it, it should have been Danny Crawford.
But I think what Larry's trying to do right now is bring some anger into the game, bring some emotion into the game to get his team fired up and more aggressive.
Of course, all the attention on Rasheed Wallace a few years ago when he picked up the 41 technical fouls in Portland really became a problem child in many eyes, and people forgot to see as Jason Kidd hits the shot to put the Nets up 12. They no longer could see the all-star ability in Rasheed Wallace. And it's a tag that, along with other things off the court in Portland, eventually forced Wallace to be traded, and he came here to Detroit. Largest lead of the night for the Nets. It's a dozen with a minute left, and Corliss Williamson hits the jumper. 10-point game.
Well, right now you got Jason Kidd, Kenyon Martin, and Jefferson playing really well. Detroit's got to find who's going to pick up their effort.
Jason Collins not in foul trouble here tonight as he was in game one. Rodney Rogers rotates it to Kittles with 5 on the clock. Missed it, but Collins gets the board. Nets have been great on the offensive glass, and Jason Collins is fouled.
You know, Jefferson in game one, 1 for 12, has a bad night. Tonight, Tayshaun has 0, and Jefferson has 9.
Travel called on Detroit.
Now New Jersey's going to have a chance for a 2-for-1. They have about 5-6 seconds to be able to get this shot off, and then get the last shot of the game, or last shot of the half, I should say.
See if they go for the quick hit. Rodney Rogers thought about the three. Pitched it out to Kidd. Nice slip pass to Rogers. Jason Collins on the glass. That is 10 offensive rebounds for the Nets. They had 7 in all of game one.
What they're doing is making the Detroit defense move side to side. Then you're in a scramble situation, and you don't know who you're responsible for on the block out.
One-on-one, Billups and Kidd. Billups turns and shoots. No travel call, and that brings the first half to an end. Rasheed Wallace has to be very careful over there that he doesn't pick up a second technical foul, and he does get away unscathed. Game 3 comes up Sunday at the Continental Airlines Arena in New Jersey. Game 4 on Tuesday. Richard Hamilton.
I think the biggest difference between Rick Carlisle's Detroit Pistons and Larry's Detroit Pistons is the freedom offensively.
Jason Kidd spins baseline, re-extends the lead to a dozen. Hamilton. Oh! Rasheed Wallace split the defense. Lucius Harris doing it on his own, and that is not what you want to do against a good defensive team. Williamson trying to clear out space in the office. He's got it there. He's got it there.
Oh, interesting. We've gone through a little over 7 quarters in this series.
Yep.
And New Jersey has 1 quarter where they scored in the 20s. The rest have been in the teens or 11. So they're going to have to come up with a big quarter, which may be 23. That's a huge quarter in this series.
Out of the timeout, they went to Rodney Rogers on the low block. He turned it over. And back come the Pistons with their starting 5 on the floor. The only change in the next starting 5 is Rogers instead of Collins in the middle. Hamilton, a rise-up jump. Largest lead of the night, it's 8. Haven't seen the Nets get any easy hoops here in the second half. They had so many in that 27-point second quarter. Rogers a 3. With Wallace flying out at him. Phillips, a good rebounding guard, corrals his 3rd of the night. To go with 11 assists. A Wallace 3. Kenyon Martin down. Rasheed Wallace skipped it to Hamilton. Back out to Phillips. Sets his feet. And knocks down 3 more!
But I tell you what, Kenyon Martin, who had a great first half, all but disappeared into that last bucket. I mean, he has not been involved in the offense, and he needed to have a game, a complete game, from the first quarter to the end of the game, and he did it the first half, but for the first quarter and a half in the second half, they either didn't look for him or he just couldn't get it done.
Just 2 shots this half from the field. Rasheed for another triple! Largest Detroit lead. A Baker's dozen. Jefferson travels. The presence of Ben and Rasheed Wallace inside. How good is this building, huh? They'll match it
the name.
Yep. They'll match
the name Detroit Rock City.
That's right. They'll match it at the Continental Airlines Arena. Hamilton. Another one.
Good night.
Timeout, New Jersey.
It's too late. The timeout's too late.
That Detroit happened to get it.
The lob from Martin couldn't get through the defense. Piston ball.
The turnovers by New Jersey has killed them. They have no confidence. Their momentum, Detroit scoring, their turnovers have killed them this half.
15 a game in the regular season. They've turned it over 15 times in this half. 20 in the game. Knockout punch would come with a hoop here. Phillips a 3. Good night. Timeout, New Jersey. The Detroit Pistons, 96 seconds away from going up 2-0. 2-0 Detroit, heading to New Jersey.
He has already said he will most likely pass on the Olympics this summer, partly because of the knee, which could require surgery in the offseason. Kenny Martin revving up the crowd. The officials are Bennett Salvatore, Ron Garrison, and Ken Mauer.
Now they're going to need this crowd because I think Game 2 was particularly demoralizing for the Nets. They did everything they needed to do in the first half, got the ball into Martin, created some turnovers and open floor opportunities, but Detroit just squeezed them off defensively in the second half.
Kid being played by Billets, and fires it out to Jefferson. Here's Jefferson.
Well, that's the question mark with Martin. Can he score down on the block? He's really more a guy who wants to face up.
Martin able to reach in for the steal. Here comes Jefferson. Martin with the reverse. Yes, it counts.
Drifted, okay.
Meanwhile, the Pistons cannot buy a bucket. Here comes Kittles, 2-on-1. Nice return by Jefferson. Collins played tightly by Okor. Martin. Yes. Daniel Martin with a strong first quarter. He has 7 points. Rogers shot the ball well in game 2. 5 of 8 from the field. He had 11 points. Kidd using the pick from Rogers. Finds himself open. And scores. Kittles from downtown. Now Hamilton looks to break out, but the Nets get back. Hamilton. Jefferson out of the pack, big chase, leads it for Williams. Another fast break bucket for the Nets. They lead 28-11.
Richard Jefferson talked about how much he'd learned from Jason Kidd this season. He obviously learned how to lead the fast break.
28 points, a high for the Nets for a quarter in this series. Shot clock down at 3. Campbell way off, but Ben Wallace with the follow. The offense has been all Ben Wallace. 4 for 5 from the field. Jefferson for 3. 3/10 of a second. Has to be a tip. That's waved off. It might be a catch and shoot. The crowd here at the New Jersey Meadowlands reacting to this opening quarter by the Nets. 9 for 19 from the field, while Detroit has struggled at 5 for 21. Nets 31, Pistons 13. Jefferson with a shot clock. That's a 3 for Richard Jefferson.
Picked up that silly second one, too, and it's the kind of play that I always wonder, why don't you just let a guy go so you can keep yourself in the game?
And then Martin able to drill it. There's Rasheed Wallace getting inside. Kittles. Okor on the rebound.
Well, where do they find points in the half court? That's the question for New Jersey.
Phillips with a nice look. He passed up on the jump. Nets opened up with a blitz on the Pistons in the first quarter. Phillips with a bad shot. Rebounded by Ben Wallace. Nice play for Corliss Williamson.
What a great feed.
Here's Phillips. Jason Kidd has done an excellent job on notice that time Kittle switched off. Phillips now 0 for 5. Jefferson posting and had to give it up. Here's Kidd. Jefferson. Yes. Milwaukee's only win taking place in Detroit. Kittles. Nice goal by Terry Kittles. He went to the left hand and was able to switch over.
Not too often you go to the rim against Detroit and find no one there to try and challenge or block your shot.
Well, nice job by Jason Collins clearing the space by putting a body on to Ben Wallace.
As the postseason has progressed, here's Jefferson getting inside. What a move by Richard Jefferson. Phillips with the step. Rejected by Collins. Here's Jefferson. Leading Kidd. Back it goes to Scalabrine. And a it's been a breakout night for Richard Jefferson. There's Jefferson again, this time way off.
Thought he actually had the seam for the drive that time. Wound up pulling it back out for the fadeaway jump shot.
Prince, nowhere to go, and it's picked off. Played very well by Jefferson. He closed the baseline. Jefferson to the rim. He thought he was fouled. Back comes Phillips. He lost it. Jefferson ahead of the field. Jefferson. The Nets lead by 16.
Well, after so many fouls have been called here in the first 2.5 quarters, it looks like the officials are starting to let both teams play.
8 unanswered points for the Nets. Just under 5 remaining in this third quarter. Hamilton. Richard Hamilton with 13 points. And he's now the high man for Detroit, although he has shot only 3 of 11. The Pistons at 29% for the night. Phillips got a hand on it. Scalabrine lost it. Shot clock running down. Collins is emphatically rejected. It's a 24-second violation.
That's got to be an ugly thought to know that the shot clock is running out. You have to shoot it, and Wallace is coming after you. It's hopeless. Here he goes. He's got to go up, and there he goes out of bounds for a violation.
Kenyon Martin has looked better despite the tendonitis in his left knee. They double up on Kidd. Here's Martin. There's Jefferson on the run. Look out. It will not count. What a shot, but it's an offensive foul.
Right. You got a couple guards on the floor here who will give their body up. One is Quincy Hunter, the other is Mike James. Mike James planted. He knows he's getting hit hard that time by Jefferson. He takes the blow. Clearly he's set. His feet are planted outside the defensive area.
Head fake by Ben Wallace. Aaron Williams did not go for it. What a beautiful pass. Ben Wallace to Rasheed Wallace.
The reason it's being exaggerated is because so many times both teams are going to a post-up situation. They're all fighting for that low post spot.
Rodney Rogers has returned, replacing Kenyon Martin. Friendly rim for Richard Jefferson. That's a new career playoff high. 30 points for Jefferson.
Did you see the way he changed the angle on the drive? He was afraid of picking up that charge.
Here comes Kittles. He has Jefferson. Kittles with a beautiful ball fake to take it the distance. Timeout call by Detroit.
This is what you were talking about, Steve. Watch Jefferson avoid the offensive foul. He pulls off to his left, floats it, and gets the lucky bounce. And then fake the pass, keep it myself, finish it off for Terry Kittles.
Larry Brown stays with Mike James in the backcourt with Richard Hamilton. Here's James. That's his first field goal. Jefferson posting Hamilton. Tried to find Williams. Here's James. It will count. And the foul.
Lawrence Frank was standing over there trying to decide in his head, should we just take a foul while they dribble the ball and get Jason Kidd in the game somehow? Because he saw the clock running down. Detroit comes up with the possession. They wind up with the opportunity now to put 3 points on the board.
Foul on Williams. His third for more on Jason Kidd. Let's go to D. Lynham.
Well, Marvin, talking to Jason yesterday, in the regular season, he played average 36-plus minutes per game. In his first 2 games against Detroit, he's averaged 44 minutes. And he said, you know, against the team that likes to trap and pressure pressure and you don't have a true backup point guard, I need to be on the floor.
And that has been the case. Jason did get a brief rest. He's back in, playing the backcourt now with Kittles.
And Dean brings up a good point because there were a lot of days before game number 1, a lot of days before game number 2, so he could rest. Now 3 games in 5 days. Jason.
Our statistician Brian Taylor just wrote the word imbecile. So Darvin Ham down to 2.5 to play in this 4th quarter. Martin going at Ben Wallace. Rebounded by Kittles.
Great play by Kittles. And you're right, Mike, these officials, they have a difficult job. They can't call a foul every play, so they've got to try to maintain some rhythm to the game. But you're right, there is a foul happening after every play.
Kittles from downtown. Jason Collins and Richard Hamilton having words. Double technicals have been handed out. The Pistons are 0 for 10 from downtown. The NBA playoff record for three-point futility is 0 for 13. That was done twice. And they were 6 of 13 in game 2 at the Palace on Friday night. Hunter puts it up there for Rasheed Wallace. Zoran Planinic has checked in for the first time, as has Brandon Armstrong, who's able to knock it down. 82-64 Nets. And the Pistons may be headed to an all-time playoff low. Their low for this season during the course of the regular season was 69 points, a game against the Pacers at Indianapolis in January. So this will be a season low and an all-time playoff low for Detroit. The Nets are hearing it from this crowd. They've been filing out here in this 4th quarter. Nets have had the big lead most of the way. This is also the Pistons' worst shooting performance of the season. They are just under 29%. Planinic.
Here's Rasheed Wallace off the glass, and the rebound by Kerry Kittles. So the Pistons start out 1 for 5. And Kidd stepping back over Ben Wallace making the shot. So here is Jason Kidd. A lot of people wondering about his bruised left knee. Missed 15 games. Many toward the end of the season. He says it is not bothering him.
Important for him to get off to an early start here with his shooting. That's a big one for Jason Kidd.
Phillips, and there's the fast break. Kittles from Kidd.
Wait, that reminded me a little bit of Bernard King. Remember the old shot, a little skirt shot that he would take?
In the building.
That's right.
As his brother is. And on the fast break, off the tip, this shot. And another basket that time. And neither team really has a quote-unquote big-time scorer that they rely on. Nets jumping off to a 15-2 lead Sunday, leading now 10-4 as the field goal is made by Hamilton, who has all 4 Detroit points. A lot of times when you score, it is much important as how many you score. Hamilton looking like he's getting into the rhythm, has 6 of the Pistons' 8. Under 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Richard Jefferson passing to Aaron Williams. And good defensive coverage by Detroit underneath. They had 4 blue shirts going behind, and a steal. Bad pass by Hamilton. Kidd kicked it off, and Jefferson pays it off at the other end with a slam. Hey, if you risk turning it over, the Nets will make you pay every time.
Richard Jefferson going right at Wallace, who again wisely lets him go. The other night in game 3, Wallace picked up a cheap one in a similar situation, ended up on the bench for the rest of the half practically. So smart play.
And the feed inside to Kenyon Martin. Martin getting another opportunity, and he is held down. And a foul called against Detroit with just under 2 minutes to go. Pistons in the penalty, and that foul against Okur.
Well, once again, these two teams getting a little testy. There's the block by Okur. Great rebound by Martin, taking it away from him. Then you see he just holds him down. Kenyon doesn't like it, shoves off.
There's James putting pressure on Kerry Kittles, bringing the ball up under a half a minute remaining in the first quarter. Dick Stockton along with Steve Kerr and D. Lynam. Nets and Pistons, game number 4, and nearly picked off by Ham. Kittles from the corner, Jefferson with the foul.
What a finish, wow. Unbelievable. 14-point deficit with 4 minutes to go. They come back and tie it. Couldn't quite finish it off though.
Lucius Harris with the lay-in.
And a nice play by Aaron Williams, sealing his man, allowing Lucius Harris to get to the rim.
James with Ham, Okur, Ben Wallace, and Lindsey Hunter for the Pistons. Jason Collins remains on the bench as Aaron Williams and Rodney Rogers up front. And here is James from outside, and the offensive rebound by Darvin Ham, and Lindsey Hunter will set up the play.
Well, who's going to score for this Detroit lineup that they have out here? They've got 4 defensive-minded players. Okur is the only guy who really is going to look to shoot a whole lot, but maybe that guy going to the hole.
Darvin Ham with the reverse lay-in. Pistons now with Corliss Williamson seeing his first action of the game, looking to post up, knocked away by Martin. Kenyon Martin, fouled by Williamson from behind. And the Pistons need a break. They are harassed by this net team on the double team. Here's Martin, and this crowd is going wild. What a show by the Nets defense.
What a pass by Lucius Harris, taking the ball out of mid-air, little touch pass, and now a charge on the Pistons.
When will it end for Detroit? And another penalty, technical foul on Richard Hamilton. An offensive foul called against Hamilton, and he loses his temper and gets a tee on top of that.
Take care of the ball, be patient, don't allow New Jersey to get into the... They don't think New Jersey can score in the half court.
Their starters are in there with the exception of Rasheed Wallace. Phillips against Harris. Harris doing a great defensive job getting the rebound after shutting down Phillips.
I just looked over at Larry Brown. He said, pass the ball, Chauncey.
Jason Kidd with the lay-in.
A Kidd misses the layup, but when you get that kind of penetration as a guard, you know you've got a couple of big men who are going to be all over the offensive glass.
Wallace picked up by Jefferson. 7 on the 24-second clock. Faking the double team, single coverage off the glass. Wallace, great move is a touch lay-in by Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, I should say, now has 4, and again, it's a single-digit lead for the Nets.
And Rasheed looks like he's a little shaken up, may have turned his ankle on that play.
And the feed to Martin, good pass to Collins, gets it in. Great ball movement inside by New Jersey. We're looking at Rasheed Wallace. Remember, he had the plantar fasciitis problem, which Larry Brown said was not an issue. But right now, Rasheed Wallace hobbling. 10 on the shot clock. Here's Ben Wallace. Back to Tayshaun Prince. Well done by the Pistons. Pistons playing a zone defense at this point. And going in as Jefferson finding Martin. Great movement without the ball by the Nets. They've been doing it all night, and Kenyon Martin on that time in particular.
And I'm willing to bet that's the last time you'll see the zone defense out of Larry Brown's team here tonight.
The lead again is 9. Pistons have never led, not only tonight, but in the 2 games here in New Jersey. Chauncey Billups getting a little space, and Billups scoring his first points of the game. Continuing to show the passion and energy that sparked their Game 3 victory. Jefferson, no look into the corner. Kidd still struggles for 3, but he'll give the Nets another chance. Kittles has the chance and makes the most of it. Kerry Kittles! As the Nets swept the Knicks in 4 straight, then losing 2 and coming back and trying to get back in the series. And this team has shown in the past they have no quit in them, not that they ever would. Boston 2 years ago is a prime example. Jefferson has the ball knocked away on a fast break. Billups has to bank it in. He lost control for the possible layup, but recovered to bank it in.
So important for him to get an easy basket here because he's been struggling with that jump shot. We'll see if that gets him going.
And the Pistons finally get something off the fast break in this game. There's Rodney Rogers posting up against Ben Wallace. The repost to Rogers. And the fall away, and that's his shot.
That's his shot, but you know what? With Ben Wallace on your back, that's a difficult shot. And he did an excellent job of creating space. He gave Wallace a little fake and hit that turnaround. That's a pretty nice shot for Rodney Rogers.
So the lead is 8. Phillips picked up by Rogers, so there's a mismatch somewhere. They go to Mehmet Okur, and Okur off the glass. Ben Wallace, I don't know how he got that offensive rebound because the Nets appeared to have gotten it.
He had 11 offensive rebounds on his own in Game 3. The guy is a monster on the offensive glass.
Under a minute to go. Tayshaun Prince open for 3 and can't find the mark. He couldn't have been more wide open than he was there, but the Pistons get another chance, and the shot by Hamilton on the push. And you got to know that that mask is bothering him, and it has definitely affected him. Thought that he could rid himself of it during the year, but could not. Hamilton now with 14 to lead Detroit.
And he's the beneficiary of another great play by Ben Wallace, who gets his hand on the loose ball and actually finds a way to get it to Hamilton. I wonder if they gave him an assist for that. They ought to.
Rogers swings it in for the lay-in, and that's what the Nets want from Rodney Rogers. Gary Kittles stepping back. Hamilton doing a good job. Jason Collins giving Kittles an opportunity, and he scores at the shot clock buzzer. So the magic continues for New Jersey and for Lawrence Frank, who came in for Byron Scott and did a tremendous job. Frank ran off 12 straight victories to start his coaching careers. Wallace Rasheed setting a screen for Hamilton. And Rasheed Wallace's first shot. Rebound by Collins.
Once again, Kenyon Martin's aggressive defense on the post, forcing Wallace out.
Kittles with a 2. Kerry Kittles with a 2. 15 months ago, his mother Sadie was buried, and it was the day before the All-Star game, and it was a tough night for him. And when Mother's Day came around, it was especially tough for Ben Wallace, and he felt the effects and reflected afterwards. Kerry Kittles with another field goal, so Kittles coming out big, and he has 11 points, and at this rate, we're close to having 4 nets in double figures.
Well, Dick, again, in these defensive struggles, it's often a guy like Kittles who comes in and gets a hot hand who ends up being the difference.
Trying to make this one a little closer and looking to open up a 3-1 lead, and Prince trying to post up against Jefferson. Or the other way around, Jefferson against Prince, and here is Kittles leaving it for Kidd for 3. He's got it. Jason Kidd, and the Nets have only 2 3-pointers in this game, and why that's impressive is that the Pistons have none. They're 0 for 5 in this game, and 0 for 15 in the last 2 games. Fronting, Tayshaun Prince, and a great play made by Jason Kidd getting the ball back. How about another basket? This is a 2, but Kidd hits it from the same spot. A 13-point lead. Nets open up their biggest margin. And a timeout. Jason Kidd, 10 points, 10 assists. Kidd with a turnaround, banks it in. Now you see it, now you don't. And Jason Kidd has 12.
It's amazing sometimes when you knock down a shot or two, all of a sudden that rim starts to look a lot bigger. Confidence starts to flow. Jason Kidd feeling it now here.
Has scored the last 7 Nets points, and the crowd very much into it. Here is Ben Wallace leaving it for Hamilton, who hits the jumper from the corner. 21 for Hamilton. The next leading scorer for Detroit, Steve, is Mehmet Okur with 8.
Well, the guy you look at, you think, well, he's got to get involved is Rasheed Wallace. And remember what Larry Brown told us before the game? He said, he told Rasheed, play like you're 6'11", not 5'11".
And Jason Kidd feeling it, and you pointed out, and you would know as a shooter. So Ben Wallace from Virginia Union. Charles Oakley, another player from Virginia Union, one of the great rebounders in the league. Under 3.5 to play, and the third Jefferson with a screen from Kidd. Kidd setting the screen, and Jefferson, 14 points. Detroit now has to answer 2 thorough whippings if it goes on like this from the Nets. Kidd gets the roll, and Jason Kidd now with 20, and he becomes the high scorer for New Jersey.
I'll tell you one thing Larry Brown is going to have to do is find somebody else who can make a shot. The silence Rip Hamilton, his team, 9 for 37 here tonight.
That says it all. But everyone seems to be getting into the act for New Jersey as they lead by a whopping 81-58 score. The Nets will inbound, leading by 17 at 7 minutes and 35 seconds remaining. Jason Kidd needs 1 rebound for the triple-double, guarded by Mike James. James picking Kidd up and staying with Jefferson. Richard Jefferson in the lane gets the basket. Jefferson, who had 7 in the first quarter, now with 17 in the game. All right, Ernie, thank you very much. And, of course, so many distractions that the Lakers have had to face this year, Steve. And Jefferson going in and getting the basket. What a great play. You would think the Nets were in a tie game with the effort they're putting out here in the fourth.
Well, that's the way you have to play in the playoffs. You've got to compete and do it for 48 minutes.
And the foul inside, and Kerry Kittles with the foul. Here it is.
Look at the speed of Richard Jefferson, and then the leaping ability up and around Ben Wallace. Look at the body control. This guy has the total package. I think an all-star very shortly, maybe next year.
It's 4:42 to go. I wish you'd asked me, well, I shouldn't be talking about this in front of the audience, but...
you know what, I thought I would just break down the intricacies of the screen and roll.
You know, that's what those little kids want to hear.
The engineering majors would love to hear that.
That's right. Well, you know what? They've got the right guy. You know why? Because they got a winner. How about that? Basket counts, goaltending. Give it to Tayshaun Prince.
Well, I don't think anybody in the arena cares that the basket counts, because look at this play. Kenyon Martin going up and over everybody, and forget about blocking it. I'll just grab it.
Could have been called for palming. 3 minutes remaining in this game. A big 30-16 third quarter. Breaking open this game for the Nets. Kerry Kittles has 3 more. Kerry Kittles' second 3 of the game. Tayshaun Prince has not been a factor since game 1 in this series at small forward.
No, he hasn't, and obviously Anthony certainly would look good in this matchup.
Every game takes on a different fingerprint, so to speak, and so will game number 5 as Milicic misses. Zoran Planinic getting into the game, and the final seconds ticked off as the Nets win both games at home, wire to wire over the Detroit Pistons, and have tied the best of 7, 2-2. Thanks to our producer Kim Belton, our director Suzanne Smith, statistician Marty Aronoff. New Jersey wins big, 94-79. And posting up against Jason Collins, and the turnaround by Rasheed at the shot clock buzzer ties the game.
Well, you get your energy from the negativity of the crowd if you're on the road. That's a compliment.
And how about a compliment for Richard Hamilton, who gets the basket and a foul. Hamilton getting off to the big start, and 30 points in his last game to tie it in 6.
And I love what the Pistons are doing right here, guys. They're taking everything toward the basket.
You want to watch with Rasheed, though, it's late in the game because that foot starts to get cold. In the beginning, it's just been taped. It feels good now.
Wallace was fronting Kenyon Martin in the turnover. Way ahead is Billups, Chauncey Billups. So Detroit, and we don't know whether it's the home court spurring them on, but something is. They're playing a lot better, but the Nets are hanging in there. And it's been a rebounding series all the way, and you can see Detroit has had the rebounding edge in only 1 game.
Well, and if you look at that, graph that we just showed, you can't beat a team by letting them constantly beat you on the offensive boards. Defensive boards, one thing, but offensive boards, you've got to make sure you keep them off of.
Kerry Kittles doing a number on Richard Hamilton, and here's Kittles for 3.
But I think officials are getting sick of this flopping. Yeah. Everybody's flopping at you drop it for half. Every 3-point shooter now, once he shoots the ball, you get near him, he falls on the floor.
Hey, flopping's part of the game, Coach. I couldn't have played my last 3 or 4 years if I wasn't allowed to flop.
You were a flop artist of the first degree. Kerry Kittles with a high arcing shot, and Ben Wallace grabbing the rebound. That's his first of the game. Pistons coming back with Billups, and he tried to go up with a layup against all the giants inside of the Nets. Last touch by New Jersey with plenty of time on the shot clock, and going to the bench are both teams for the first time.
This is a great example as why Lawrence Frank decided to go with Kerry Kittles on Chauncey Billups. It's that even when he gets beat, he still has the length to make up for something. with those long arms to where he can come from behind and block shots, get his hands on ball.
Rodney Rogers coming in for the Nets, and Lindsey Hunter replaces Rip Hamilton, who goes out with 2 fouls. So the Pistons, after the 6-6 start, scoreless in 4.5 minutes. Ben Wallace going up, and that doesn't drop. So the Pistons in a big drought, but still trailing by 6. Jefferson with a lane to the basket. No one there to pick him up as he drove the baseline, and an 8-point net lead. Right now, the Pistons just want to get a basket, and they finally do with Chauncey Billups in the layup.
Rodney had a better shot without the dribble.
I'll tell you what, the Pistons are in transition slowly, both offensively and defensively.
Okoro with the fall away, and it goes in. Differential of about 7 seconds between the shot clock and game clock. Billups to Williamson. Great feed by Chauncey Billups. And there is Kidd. And Aaron Williams taps it to Jefferson, who's fouled, and the basket counts. So Aaron Williams with a very alert play to tap it to a wide open Richard Jefferson. He gets the basket, and the foul on Darvin Ham, who has come in along with Mike James.
Well, and you see this is an example of the Nets scrambling for loose balls. I think that they're so much quicker.
I have to tell you guys, offensively, the Detroit Pistons are still discombobulated.
Well, it's the reason why Ben is open. The other coach knows he can.
Kerry Kittles with the runner. Kittles now with 9. Jason Collins in the lineup again for the Nets. Hamilton passing to an open Corliss Williamson, who hits.
These are important minutes for New Jersey, getting Jason Kidd a blow. You know, if they can continue to keep a 7, 8, 9-point lead with Jason on the bench, that's key.
Jefferson spinning his way in with the arcing shot that drops.
It's very obvious the Pistons are in a funk right now, and it's a mental thing. This is when you need a pick-me-up kind of player out there. They don't have that one guy that just takes over and uses his individual ability to get them back in the frame of mind they need to be in.
And I think Rasheed Wallace not being himself is a major blow to the Pistons.
I agree with that. That's a great point, Dick, as Richard Hamilton lays it in.
The heck with that. At this point, you need one guy that can use his individual ability, and that's why you call him a star, that lifts you out of this funk. You need individual talent sometimes.
You're right, and Rasheed getting the basket, and you saw Jason Kidd coming back in the game. But who is that man for the Pistons, John? That's the question.
I don't think he's identified himself, Dick. I don't think he's out there. It looks like an equal opportunity situation out there right now.
Please, somebody pick up the slack. That's what Larry Brown would be thinking.
I would think that Chauncey Billups has got to be the guy.
And an offensive foul called against Jefferson, his second foul. And the 33-year-old Lawrence Franks unhappy with that call.
As you see, Rasheed Wallace, he's giving it all he's got right here, but he's really, really struggling, favoring that foot. And well, I feel for the guy, but he's giving the effort.
So the Pistons with Billups and Hamilton at guard. Up front, Ben Wallace, Tayshaun Prince, and Rasheed Wallace. Their starting 5 with under 6 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Wallace to Tayshaun Prince.
And the Nets had better be careful losing their concentration because the transition baskets are too easy that now they might be careless.
And Rasheed Wallace, very effective from the right corner, now has 8 points and 2 fouls, and gamely playing on that very sore arch, the plantar fasciitis.
And Rasheed should have been telling Scalabrine too little, because he's got no chance of getting a hand in that shot.
Inside out, Kidd to Kittles hitting the 3, his second three-pointer of the game, and 12 points for Kerry Kittles. Meanwhile, the Pistons have gone empty. They are 0 for 6 from threes, and it's 38-29.
And I'm going to tell you something. The word point guard is used rather loosely in this profession, but when you look at Jason Kidd, you do see a point guard.
Hey, Tayshaun Prince trying to get on track. Finally hits the basket. After going 3 for 27. Tayshaun Prince brings the Pistons to within 6.
You made a great point a minute ago, Coach. New Jersey has lost a little bit of its edge.
Jefferson trying to bring it back. That's not the way to do it. And the pass to Prince. And Prince gets the basket. And the Pistons have cut it to 4.
Well, they lost that edge when they took Jason Kidd out of the ball game because they gave the Nets confidence. They weren't running as much when Kidd is not in the game.
Collins can't go inside, and Scalabrine hitting another one. Ryan Scalabrine coming off the bench for the New Jersey Nets in his 3rd year out of Southern Cal.
Brian Scalabrine is going to have a long career in this league. So he doesn't play a lot for these Nets. When he does play, he shows teams around this league what he can do.
I've been trying to figure out why he doesn't play that much.
Yeah.
Because he can run the floor, he shoots the ball right well.
Very smart player.
Hamilton for three. He's got it. Hamilton. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Pistons were down by as many as 12 and have fought back to within 2. Here's Scalabrine. He's been hot and stays hot with another three. Brian Scalabrine, 8 in the first half off the bench. 6 points now for Williamson and a turnover. Tayshaun Prince going in all the way. And Prince coming alive has 11 points to lead Detroit. And the Pistons trail by only 1. 3-point Detroit lead. Here is Kidd dishing off. Kittles, plenty of time on the clock for the Nets.
This is not a good possession by New Jersey. Everyone's looking around, looking at one another, waiting for somebody else to do it.
And Kenyon Martin puts it up and gets the foul. It was like an excuse-me shot.
Exactly. Like I said, beautiful possession. Kenyon Martin's worthy of playing on that team.
And Tayshaun Prince over Kidd hitting it. There's 10 minutes to go, or 2 minutes going by. Pistons by 2. Home court has held serve throughout this series. Hamilton with a move on Kidd. The return. Good move. 2-point lead for the Pistons, 50-48. Nearly 3 minutes gone by in the third. Dick Stockton, along with Rex Chapman, John Thompson, D. Lynam, and this time on the baseline, Rasheed Wallace, and on the fast break, Kittles going up with the basket.
Well, he's so active and he creates some pressure. He creates, the opinion that there's a bigger guy in there than he is, but he's so active.
50-50. Kittles, Collins, and Rogers, and Kidd missing. He's off the mark tonight, but the offensive hustle by Kenyon Martin.
He's quick to the ball every time.
Martin working his way in for the layup. Well done. 61-57. The Nets lead the Pistons. And Chauncey Billups, now Williamson with him, with Ben Wallace, Tayshaun Prince, and Rasheed Wallace. And there is Billups hitting from the corner. And that's a 3-point basket for Billups. And it's a 2-point game.
Chauncey Billups is playing a good game tonight. He's playing the way Larry Brown wants him to play. He's getting his teammates involved and taking his shots when he has them.
And now they say a 2-point. They changed it, although the officials had their arms up. The scoreboard says 61-60. Rogers off the mark. And all of a sudden, the time is called, and they're going to check the clock. And the scoreboard, they're calling it a 3. They did originally, so I don't know where they went to 2. It was always a 3. So the conversion is up and good, and it's 61-60.
New Jersey's really struggling on the offensive end. I don't understand it. I think a lot of it has to do with Richard Jefferson being out of the game, but these guys just have no continuity right now.
I think the Pistons have upped their defense in the same token.
Well, and I also think the Pistons' offense is causing it because they're taking good shots. And the Nets are good when they can get out and run and get early offense baskets.
That is their game, although for a while in Game 4, their half-court offense did the job as well, but they don't rely on that as much, obviously.
Well, there's so much predicated on you taking bad shots and them being able to get out and run, or them getting steals.
And Jason Kidd missing from downtown. The Nets have not made a basket in the last 4.5 minutes, but they still lead by 1. Kidd was daring Prince to shoot, and Kittles in the face of Chauncey Billups. He has been a thorn for Chauncey Billups ever since the change was made defensively in Game 3. We have a minute remaining, third quarter.
Lawrence Frank is getting ready to get Lucius Harris in the game. Right now, the only guy running with Jason Kidd is Kerry Kittle. And they're covering Kerry very well in transition. Jason's got nobody to pass the ball to.
Tayshaun Prince on the reach and foul, his second, but a penalty situation has been in effect, and Jason Kidd will go to the line.
Well, and speaking to your point, Rex, Jefferson being on the bench has a great effect on their fast break also, because he gets out, fills the lanes, and he also can complete the run. He's a guy that's a great finisher.
And Kidd makes
the first free throw, and the Nets have been perfect from the line. 11 for 11 at the line here in this quarter. And you mentioned Lucius Harris. He has checked into the game. Kidd now with 9 points, and the Nets lead by 3.
It's really amazing that New Jersey is able to hang on to this lead, because every indication that we're getting right now is Detroit is playing the better basketball.
But the Nets lead, and that's pretty good. They're on the road, being outplayed right now, and yet they lead. Wallace has it stripped away. Fight out of bounds. Last touch by Detroit. Great hustle.
Terrific hands by Kenyon Martin.
Exactly.
Look at him looking at us, Coach.
It's so quick.
He really likes you, Coach. Every time he does something on the floor, he comes over here and winks at you, and he's into the game.
He knows I love that defense.
I know it.
And Kidd really having his troubles from the field tonight. Jason Kidd is 2 for 8. And the block shot differential about 5 seconds.
Really look for Chauncey to try to break Jason down here. He's gotten in a little rhythm, made a few shots. Let's see if he can break Jay down.
Biddle's out of the game because Lucius Harris is in, and Billups gets the bounce. Chauncey Billups.
That's a tough shot.
Here is Aaron Williams from the corner missing. The Nets have missed their last 9 shots from the field, yet the score is tied, but Billups has untied it. Or James, that is. Mike James giving the Pistons a 65-63 lead.
And that can't be the shot that New Jersey wanted. A 20-footer by Aaron Williams coming out of the third quarter.
What's the difference between a 1 and a 7 anyway when you get down to it, right?
Right.
Who's Quedlin? Rodney Rogers spins in for the tying lay-in. Barely halfway through this pivotal fourth quarter. The three-point basket by Billups. His second of the game.
Thing you want to be impressed with is Hamilton's making plays right now.
Detroit with the lead by 2, and Lawrence Frank wants to talk it over. That's how much he has improved as a person.
Well, I love him as a player. Well, I just never heard that association.
I know you use that with your players many times at Georgetown.
That's a walk.
Traveling called against Jefferson. You're right.
Yeah, that's something you can't have 20 turnovers.
And the foul going in, and the Pistons looking to increase their lead, and the foul is called against Terry.
Well, one of the reasons is that graph you show with the guy scoring. If you want to stop them from running, you got to make baskets.
Matching their biggest lead of the game for Detroit. Kittles cuts it to 1 all of a sudden. Whenever the Nets have needed the big basket tonight, and a 3-point Detroit lead, as the Piston fans hoping this is not the last home game of the year, and a foul called on Billups.
No, we need to keep an eye on Tayshaun Prince as well. He's been very quiet this half.
Yes, he has. And Hamilton tried to get it. Hamilton gets it back. And Rasheed Wallace, only his second free throw attempt, and came into the game 6 for 6 for the series. The good news is he hasn't missed any free throws. The bad news, he doesn't get to try many.
Rasheed's not a high volume free throw.
Rip Hamilton a lot of credit too, as you've been saying, because he's probing, getting into the lane, causing people to come to him and dishing off. And for that frail body, that takes a lot of courage too to take that beating in there.
11 assists for Richard Hamilton tonight, taking over the playmaking role for Detroit. Wallace with 13 points, and all 5 starters for the Pistons are in double figures. Detroit by 2.
Look where they're making them initiate their offense, Coach. 30 feet from the basket.
And here's Martin playing with 5 fouls against Ben Wallace. Wallace with the block jump ball.
That's smothered chicken right there. Smothered chicken. I think Ben Wallace thought he was going to get called for a foul here for a second. But just great defense. Got Kenyon Martin all the way behind the goal.
3:13 on the clock, John.
I don't think Ben Wallace was the only one. This crowd, the way they reacted, they thought he was called for a foul too, but it was a very good call.
It's the heavyweight jump ball here.
Third block of the game for Ben Wallace.
2 very quick jumping guys.
Tip controlled by Billups.
Billups, foul. And hit in the face was Chauncey Billups. And Mike Aguinaldo, the trainer, will go over to tend to the point guard who is bending over with a hand in the face. Well, it's all down to the defense. Which team plays the better D? Billups working his way in, and Wallace trying to keep it alive. Chased in the corner, and Kidd comes out of the pack.
Look out.
Jason Kidd all the way. What a play by Kidd. Changing hands at the last minute. Jason Kidd gives the Nets the lead with 1:08 to go.
Jason sounds like a prophet. He said he just wanted to be in a game tonight where they had a puncher's chance at the end of the ball game.
Timeout. 13 seconds to go, and Lucius Harris will inbound. We have not had a tight game in the series until tonight, and the Nets leading by 2, 87-85. Harris inbounds to Kidd, and he's fouled. No choice for the Pistons than to foul Jason Kidd, who is 7 for 7 from the line. Pistons led 84-80 with 2:29 left. And since then, the Nets have outscored Detroit 7-1, pending these free throws, and Kidd misses the first. Still hope.
Still hope. It's a big miss.
But no timeouts remaining for Detroit. So it is a big miss indeed, because they still have a chance, if Kidd makes it, for a 3 to tie the game. He misses both.
He missed both of them. They got to go. Get something going to the basket.
87-85. And Billups, what a block. Blocked by Richard Jefferson with 2.9. And now Sean Corbin raises his hand. There's a foul.
There's a foul on
and a foul on Detroit, and the Nets look like they're going to hold on. Richard Jefferson with a great block.
That is unbelievable. This game is tied up, possibly going to overtime, and oh, get that shot out of here.
The play of the game with Billups looking to tie the game, and Richard Jefferson coming out of nowhere to swat it away.
He had to duck his head to keep hitting on the backboard.
Well, and the thing that he did that is so significant that the great Bill Russell could do is that he went up in the air and avoided putting his body on it and reached over and blocked the shot. But how about this?
Make a free throw, guys.
Now, the problem is no timeouts left for Detroit, so 2.9. If you think they had to get it up in a hurry last time, what about now?
Well, I mean, this is an eternity compared to what the Lakers did last night.
All right.
3.9, come on.
Anything is possible. And the lead is 88-85.
Got to get a 3 up.
Pistons need a 3, and they have just under 3 seconds to do it. Here's Chauncey Billups. Here it is. He's got it. He's got it. Chauncey Billups hits the 3. Overtime. Amazing. Overtime session for both teams, their first overtime in the playoffs.
And the psychological edge has to go to the Pistons right now, just based on how they came back.
And Prince fouled by Aaron Williams on the cut to the basket. Here's Kidd. Scalabrine. And a big basket. How about Scalabrine with 10 points tonight? And Scalabrine defended by Rasheed Wallace as we approach 3 minutes to go in overtime. Richard Jefferson with a 3, and that gives the Nets a 3-point lead. 2.5 to play in overtime, and all of a sudden the crowd sensing that the Pistons have to make a stop defensively now.
I like this move, going to Jason in the post.
Jefferson foul, and a chance to give the Nets to open up a 5-point lead, but this was the tiebreaker at this point.
Scalabrine to Jason, and who's guarding Richard Hamilton? Tayshaun Prince has got to close out a little bit better on Tayshaun, get a hand in his face.
Dan Wallace is fouled out of the game. So the plot thickens now as Wallace fouls out with 16 points, 11 rebounds, and replaced by Corliss Williamson. So the Pistons go a bit small right now, but they know that some of the big people on the Nets have fouled out. Working in is Williamson. Off the glass, and here's Billups. Chance to tie or go ahead, and Billups overran the ball in a 3-on-2 break. Jefferson leaves it for Kittles, and an offensive foul called, a charging foul. And Jefferson and the Nets are arguing that call.
I think he was inside the circle. He was in the circle. He was.
You're right.
Greg Willard, Dick Bavetta conferred with Greg Willard, and clearly, Corliss Williamson was in the
score. Under a minute and a half remaining. There's the timeout story. Rasheed Wallace with a three. And how about Rasheed Wallace, who has played 42 minutes?
How about this guy?
Well, and that's the thing that he can do because of the fact of his length and his shooting touch. He can get that shot almost anytime he wants to.
Nets by one. And no basket. A timeout has been called by the Nets. Rodney Rogers, 10 on the shot clock, going strong to the basket. And Williamson the rebound, under a minute to go. And the Pistons can take the lead. Billups losing his footing, going in, and the blocking foul is called. Billups had lost his footing and fell into a defender, and he'll call it against Jefferson. 5 on Richard Jefferson.
A great aggressive drive, very aggressive drive there. Ooh. That's a charge. I don't know. He's outside the block.
Hunter all over Kidd, and Jefferson in the corner. 5 on the shot clock. Prince against Jefferson, falls down, and the foul called against Tayshaun. The 5th time that the turnover was a result of a 24-second violation. That's a big number. Lindsey Hunter in the lane, fall away over Kidd. Scalabrine getting the rebound.
We've seen a lot of missed jump shots here in overtime, at the end of regulation, and thus far in this overtime, and that's fatigue. These guys have played their hearts and souls out. You've got to imagine that these legs are a little bit tired.
Scalabrine for 3 and a big one. Brian Scalabrine with his 3rd beyond the arc has 13 points.
Don't you think for 1 minute the Pistons aren't trying to get to that bonus situation as quick as they can? That's the 3rd thing.
Right. Billups on the drive, and Kerry Kittles with his 4th foul.
We've got to give him a lot of credit, because Lance Frank definitely has done a great job in managing this team.
Very steady.
Extremely so.
How bad is it hurting Kenyon Martin and Ben Wallace and Rip Hamilton?
Kidd hitting a 3. Very calmly, Jason Kidd hitting his first 3-pointer in 5 tries.
And looked at Rex, the shooting coach, and said, woo!
He looked over here like, I made one.
And driving is Billups with the lay-in, getting 2. Tell you, Chauncey Billups showing a lot of energy here in second overtime.
These guys are playing on all guts right now.
27 for Billups. Nets lead, 105-103.
Think about how much Jason's been dribbling. How tired can he be right now?
Jefferson wide open, hitting another 3. So Scalabrine, Kidd, and Jefferson hitting big 3-pointers. And the Nets are up by 5 as we get close to 2 minutes remaining in the overtime.
Larry was wanting a timeout, and Chauncey was not hearing him. He was trying his best to get Chauncey's attention.
Eventually, Ernie, they would have. It might have been on Sunday, and maybe Monday. Sounds like a song, but they are in the hundreds. At 108, 103, 206 to go. Rod Thorne. And, you know, got to imagine what's going on inside there. The St. Dumar's upstairs. And there is Rasheed Wallace slamming it through.
24-second shot clock. Bad mistake.
And that one tipped up and in. And that was Corliss Williamson who gets the basket. And it's a 1-point net lead. Under a minute and a half to go. 4 Nets have fouled out. Jason Kidd finding an open Lucius Harris. And he hits. Harris with a big basket. And it is now 110-107, New Jersey.
The Nets have to definitely keep the Pistons off of the board.
Williamson comes right back.
Are they taking advantage of the lack of shot blockers inside? Detroit is really going to the basket.
And violation. 5-second violation against the Nets, and New Jersey gets it back. And the blocking foul
against Scalabrine. 5 on him, and now they're going to shoot. The penalty in effect now for the Nets, and Detroit will go to the line to shoot 2.
Brian Scalabrine's not going to get that call at this stage of the game, at this stage of his career. That should have been a block or a no call.
10 on the shot clock.
Charge.
And they're going to call the blocking foul.
I mean, how many block charges have we had in this game?
110 Pistons. Jefferson right at the three-point line will take a three-point shot.
No.
And it will go out of bounds, try to save it. And then Scalabrine makes a great save. What a play by Scalabrine. And the Nets have a new clock.
Got to get something going to the basket.
And driving in is Jefferson, and he's fouled. And this time we'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Look for him to get it, get to the basket, and maybe find shooters.
And the officials don't want to make the call that decides the game. They probably will try to penetrate.
Lucius Harris inbounds to Scalabrine. Back to Kittles, missing the shot. And Scalabrine can't convert, and we go to another overtime.
Now, these guys are tired, very tired.
If in doubt, hold on to the ball, though. You just hold on to it and let Jason come back and get it. You can't play the way you played when you were fresh right now.
And Williamson with Scalabrine, who has 5 fouls, by the way. And there's Williamson, Hunter with the fake and the deflection. Kidd made a great play. 3-on-1 break for the Nets. Lucius Harris gets the basket and the foul.
Big basket. Big basket. That's a great 3-on-1 fast break.
Set up by Jason Kidd on the defensive end.
But your heart goes into your mouth every time they run a fast break, and Jason is not controlling the ball.
Jason gets his hand on top of the ball. Pistons thought it was a foul. 3-on-1 break, and that's the way you do it. And Chauncey Billups, if you're going to foul that man, you put him down.
And the three-point play by Lucius Harris. And Harris now with 10 points tonight. Those were the big ones, though, and a 3-point net lead. And how often have we said that, Ray?
You want to get it to Williamson because that's a mismatch there as far as lateral movement is concerned.
Out to Hunter, rimming the basket, and the Nets get it back.
Great effort by Scalabrine on the box out.
And you have to give Scalabrine a lot of credit, though. He doesn't have the same foot speed, but boy, is he plugging out there.
And a block by Tayshaun Prince into the hands of Phillips. Phillips under the basket. And what a shot by Phillips underneath the basket. He has 31.
And Prince came down very awkward on the block. He's very gimpy right now. Like he twisted his knee or something.
Prince guarding Richard Jefferson. 2:35 to go. The double team on Jefferson. And here is Harris. Loose for 2-pointer. Harris has 5 points in the third overtime.
And you got to respect Kurt Kittles for passing up a shot, giving it to Kidd. Kidd passed it up and got it to a fresh shooter.
3-point lead for the Nets. So now the burden is on Detroit's offense as we get close to 2 minutes to go in the third OT. Forcing the pass, Phillips picked off by Jason Kidd.
Good play, smart play.
Setting it up, using time.
Chauncey Billups is trying to carry these Pistons. He may be doing a little too much right now, but I can't fault the effort.
Under 2 minutes now, and the Nets by 3. Basket good, and a foul by Richard Jefferson. And a chance, if he makes the free throw, to open up a 6-point lead.
Well, you got to have respect for all these guys on both teams. Because these guys, this is what the NBA is about.
Jefferson with 27 points.
And who was it that said fatigue makes a coward of us all? These young men have been everything but cowards. Everybody's playing hard.
Phillips going up, and it doesn't drop. The tip again. Loose ball out to Prince. New clock. Here's James for 3. Big one. 3-point lead.
This is incredible. This is incredible.
This is becoming, if it isn't already, a classic NBA playoff game. Game 5. Each team has won 2. Home teams have won them all. No games have been close until this one, and this made up for the other 4. In spades. 5 on the shot clock. Kidd gives it to Kittles. Kittles will have to fire the 3. And hit the shot clock.
And mentally now, it's extremely important for guys to stay alert because obviously they're very physically worn out.
James at the point, working against Lucius Harris and Corliss Williamson with the basket. The Nets were down by 6. They trail by 1 as we get close to 1 minute remaining.
And Detroit is able to get to the foul line or get in the paint anytime they want to. In fact, there's no last line of defense back there for the Nets.
Well, there are no big people anywhere on the floor now. Either team.
Fouls have sort of balanced it out at this point, particularly once Rashid went out.
5 on the shot clock. Jefferson in the corner. Scalabrine for 3. Brian Scalabrine. Where would the Nets be without him? 4 3-pointers.
I tell you what.
How about this kid?
Phillips. And the rebound by Harris. And with a half a minute remaining, the Nets right now in control, leading by 4. And the foul by Williamson on Scalabrine. And average 3.5. And a 2-possession game as time begins to run out for the Pistons. Here is James with the lay-in, 16.9. They need to steal, and if not, a foul. But for all that, New Jersey will call a timeout, leaving them with 1.
Even some of the fans are tired now. I said the referees didn't have subs, but you look at some of the fans. The inbound is extremely important.
Steal. Lindsey Hunter to Phillips behind the arc. Phillips misses a 3. Jefferson gets the rebound and the foul with 8.9. And now with 8.9, it's once again the Nets at the free throw line where they had the chances before. Larry Brown is enjoying it. Tell you what a game.
Unbelievable. And Jason Kidd, as you see, Chauncey Billups missing this shot right here. What a great look and great steal. Unbelievable defense by Detroit. Richard Jefferson with a big rebound, but Jason Kidd got raked across the face, as you can see here, and that was trying to keep him from getting the inbounds pass. That's how you keep a man from getting the inbounds pass.
Well, and you got to realize, as I'm sure everybody does, that the officials don't want to make a play right now that has a determining factor on the game. They will call it if it's very obvious, but you've got to be very aggressive when you try to receive, and the inbounder becomes the most important person.
Looks like the Red Wing game broke out here.
Well, you see, they're going to do whatever they can do to keep Jason from getting the ball here. And gets a little scratch. Tayshaun saying, I'm sorry, right in the middle of the play.
Still apologizing.
Tayshaun needs to be running down the trail in that play.
And I mean it, Jason.
He's too nice.
Tim Welsh, the trainer for the Nets, putting on the bandage over the nose of Jason Kidd. That kind of tells the story of what kind of battle we've had today in this great war of attrition with players fouling out. I mean, the Nets have 4 players fouling out, Pistons 3, and a lot of them were key players in the game.
Well, it's an incredible game. I don't know what's tougher, playing in a game like this where you're just worried about making big shot after big shot, or sitting over here on the sidelines through one of these games where I've had to use the bathroom since about 6 minutes to go in regulation.
And just when you think you've seen it all with the Lakers in San Antonio, you have this ball game. How about this NBA?
In 24 hours, we've had 2 classics, John. You're absolutely right. And Jefferson now 10 of 15 from the line, looking for his 29th point. He has played 53 minutes of playing time.
And had they made these free throws earlier, we would have all been out of here.
But I'll tell you what a classic game this has been. And the foul to give for New Jersey. So now neither team has a timeout or a foul to give. And the Pistons are 2 possessions away from the lead. Rasheed Wallace, game effort tonight. Here is the 3-point attempt, and that may do it as Jefferson is fouled with 1.4, and the New Jersey Nets, who trailed 2-0 in this best of 7, winning 2 impressively at home, coming on the road, withstanding Chauncey Billups' 3-point tying basket in regulation at the buzzer, and holding on and winning this game number 5.
It looks like they're going to hold on and win. And like we said before, both of these teams, regardless of how they feel about one another, they need to respect the effort level, the effort that each one of them has given, and they should shake hands and realize that they've been a part of a classic here tonight.
Tayshaun Prince fouls out with 18 points, and the crowd treated to a tremendous effort, and the New Jersey Nets will go home with a chance to move into the Eastern Conference Finals. Last year they swept the Pistons. Not quite as effortless this year.
What a game.
A lot of people fouled out, but one key guy who didn't was Jason Kidd. Scalabrine did a great job.
And a game for the ages with 9:10 still on the clock. And the Pistons will inbound.
9-10, you can get 2 shots off in that time. What a game. What a game.
A game for the ages. And the Nets win it and take a 3-2 lead over the Pistons in the best of 7. And both teams have a lot to be proud of.
Numbers and great size, of course, and just part of the arsenal of the New Jersey Nets is Kenyon Martin. Battles against Ben Wallace with an easy move inside by Kenyon Martin.
That matchup has changed. Ben Wallace is now guarding Kenyon Martin. They made that switch. For the importance, who stays out of foul trouble? Kenyon Martin has fouled out of 3 games in this series. They need him on the floor tonight, Kevin.
Pistons got here by beating Milwaukee in 5. The backdoor to Tayshaun Prince with a nice move off the baseline.
Well, when you're getting overplayed, you've got to be able to get some backdoor action. That was a great pass.
Detroit got here by beating Milwaukee in 5. And the New Jersey Nets with a great dunk by Jefferson. New Jersey with plays like that from Jefferson swept the New York Knicks. And now Kittles. Wide open. Detroit only has 1 score on their first 7 trips into Williamson. Goes around Kidd. Ben Wallace can't tap it in. And here comes Kittles and New Jersey. Wow! Kenyon Martin.
How many power forwards can run like that, Mr. Harlan?
He's releasing quickly, but his timing is impeccable.
Well, he's counting on his guards to come back and rebound. Look what Jason Kidd does. He tips that ball. Look at his eyes. His eyes are ahead. And you look what New Jersey does. They do not run for 3-point shots, Kevin. They run for layups and dunks.
Hamilton picks up his first foul. And so far, while the Pistons have not been to the free throw line, this will be the 3rd attempt for the New Jersey Nets. Martin at the stripe. And completes the 3-point play. You're talking about Williamson's necklace. I see he's just taking it off. Timeout Detroit.
Worst possible start for Detroit, 1 of 9 from the floor.
And the Pistons, of course, facing elimination. Rasheed Wallace is screened for Rip Hamilton.
Right now, Detroit is trying to go to the offensive boards. It's now 7-0 fast break points as they just added another layup.
Nice move inside. No lead changers and no ties in this game so far. Detroit's on a 6-0 run. And the try by Richard Jefferson.
That's 4 straight jump shots out now from New Jersey.
And speaking of 4, that's what Detroit has hit. 4 straight shots and a turnover right there. Number 3 on the Pistons. Kittles against Wallace. Part of a core of Nets that have been here through the last 3 years and have really built some resiliency. We saw that in the triple overtime win they had in Detroit a couple nights ago with Hamilton finding Rasheed Wallace. Shot clock at 5 and over Kenyon Martin. Wow.
You got to make Martin guard. You got to make him use energy on both ends of the floor. Both Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, anytime they get a chance, make the Nets interior defenders play.
Great pass into Kittles from Richard Jefferson.
I don't know why they're overplaying so much, Detroit. They're allowing New Jersey to play to their strength right now. The minute Kittles comes out like that, you got to let him catch the ball and make him shoot the ball under pressure.
Pistons are 7 of 16 on the fly. Hamilton.
This team has had some tremendous playoff battles over the last few years to get to the NBA Finals.
Absolutely. Billups for 3. And that's a good sign when Chauncey Billups can hit from outside. He had struggled in both games in this building in this series, and a New Jersey timeout. 2.5 to play in this first quarter. Hamilton looking inside for Okur. And there he goes off the baseline and fouled as he went up and in, and Rodney Rogers was defending on that side. Detroit is only 1 of 5 at the free throw line. Lucius Harris has come in for the first time for the New Jersey Nets. Jefferson. Lucius Harris. And he gets around Wallace, and then Jefferson kicks it inside to Kenyon Martin. Mike James has come in. And a drive inside by Hamilton is in. 5 New Jersey turnovers, 5 Detroit turnovers in the game.
Well, you see Jason Kidd's out of the game now. That makes Lucius Harris and Kerry Kittles handle the basketball. Detroit's going to really try to pressure them now. It's back-to-back turnovers.
Ahmed Okur. And Rogers gives him some breathing space, and they go now to Williamson, who snuck behind Jefferson, who was turned, and then Okur with the jam.
You're going to go to that matchup right now. You're going to go Corliss Williamson is playing as a small forward, which makes Richard Jefferson have to guard him. So the power goes there to Williamson. Here's the pick. So you're going to have to get Jason Kidd back in the game, because right now Detroit is picking up their level of pressure. That's 3 straight turnovers.
Aaron Williams comes in the game for the first time for the Nets with Scalabrine, Harris, Jason Kidd. Here's Kenyon Martin going up against Williamson down low. Williamson's kind of that in-between size. He's about 6'6", and tonight New Jersey been playing big guys on him. Williams from point-blank range. Well, the Nets finding that out. Only 1 of 6 in this second quarter with 6 turnovers. And Mike James is in there against Kidd. They've got Aaron Williams on Rasheed Wallace with the double now clamped on by Kidd. They're moving the ball, and that was key tonight for Detroit, and that shows you why it is so important. You touched on it earlier. They get from side to side, strong to weak, and James nails it.
That's a great call. Larry Brown said the one thing he's going to be looking for is, do we get the ball, do we move the ball to the weak side of the floor, make the extra pass, make New Jersey's defense shift.
10-0 Detroit Piston run. Kittles and Jefferson with the fake, and Okur bit, and so he wiggles his way in, but he's surrounded by blue uniforms. Another New Jersey turnover.
See, Detroit's got a big lineup out there now, so when they're going to the basket, New Jersey, they're facing 3 shot blockers. Detroit is very active with their hands, turnovers, knocking down shots. This game has changed. A lot of people want to know why Larry Brown did not go with a bigger lineup in the overtimes and all. He said, I was playing uphill. They were on a small lineup out there, and I needed speed.
Hamilton sails in. He's gone 7 of 10. And the Pistons have been hot and cold. They've hit their last 5. And they began, of course, the game 1 of 5. The Nets have missed their last 5 as they come the other way. A 12-0 Detroit run. Kittles to Aaron Williams, who is in for the foul plague. Right near 26-27% for Detroit in the series for threes during the regular season, shooting 34%. Billups across the lane.
His back didn't hurt on that one.
Martin now 3 of 3 from the line, has 9 points. Game high 14 from Rip Hamilton. He's got the ball. He's picked up by Kidd. A Wallace screen. And it's Rasheed Wallace getting it from Hamilton, who has the assist.
Well, we talked about him needing to score tonight. He has 9 points now early in this game. He's been averaging 11 in this series. So he's had a nice first half.
I say Hamilton with the assist because he had 11 assists the other night in that triple overtime game. 11 points and 11 assists for Rip Hamilton on Friday. Martin across the lane. Went against Ben Wallace. That has been a battle inside. Rodney Rogers in the game. Rasheed Wallace ripped it away, and a Rodney Rogers foul. Okur and Ben Wallace. There's a difference of about 5.5 seconds. Game clock to shot clock. No fouls to give either way.
That's a lot of trust letting Rip Hamilton go against Jason Kidd.
2.
Now they have Jason Kidd on Billups. So they've gone back to where they started the series.
It's Kidd. Martin going by Prince, who can't get another foul on him because he wants to play out there a little bit longer. Here comes Hamilton facing Jefferson and slides in and slammed in by Ben Wallace. Billups has picked up his 3rd foul. Here come the Nets, shooting 36% for the game from the floor. Kidd guarded by Billups. Wide open is Kittles. Prince is there defensively. Jefferson went around a couple defenders and across the lane with about as much grace. Jefferson, Kidd rotating to an open Kittles for 3.
When you shoot poorly, it plays into New Jersey's hand. It's a simple game. Get the ball to the basket if you're Richard Jefferson. Put the pressure at the front of the rim. Detroit has started out this quarter 1 of 7. New Jersey has answered with a run. They trail by 8. Detroit has to talk about it.
Kidd guarded by Billups. Shot clock down to 7. Richard Jefferson and Wallace late with the defense.
Nice little back pick there by Jason Collins. A subtle little thing. It will not show up, but Richard Jefferson looked over and pointed to him, and he said, nice screen. And look at New Jersey pick up their defense.
It's Tayshaun Prince who banks it home, and that breaks a drought from the field. Pistons have knocked down 4 of 6 threes. This time Prince tries to penetrate and gets it after he fumbled it away. It is a 15-4 New Jersey run, down at one time by 17. The Pistons find themselves only up now by 6. A steal by Kidd, one-on-one with Hamilton, who impedes his progress, in a foul called on Rip Hamilton for the second time. One lead change in the game. We've had 4 ties. As Phillips is picked up by Kittles, and Jefferson is quickly on Tayshaun Prince. Aaron Williams and Ben Wallace. Shot clock at 2, knocked away by Kittles. Here's a 3-on-2 with Kittles in the middle by Jefferson, and Kidd puts it in.
Turnovers, bad shooting equals New Jersey success.
2-point game, timeout Detroit. And Mehmet Okur is back in as well for the Detroit Pistons. The Nets are shooting only 33% in this quarter. But they've cut the halftime lead from 14 down to 2. Rip Hamilton with a much-needed basket.
Another possession of zone by New Jersey.
Mike James in the game, crossing the line, indicating over there at the coach. What is that?
Well, you're behind. Last time you took him out, your team fell apart. You don't have that luxury right now.
Kenyon Martin.
He's given him nice minutes tonight. Did not play much in game 5.
Williamson off the baseline with a nice feed from Mike James on top. And they see something they like in Okur and the Scalabrine matchup. Plenty of time for him to work, and he hooks it up and in. But the transition defense pretty good for New Jersey. And into Okur, knocked away by Jefferson. Another turnover. Nets haven't scored in almost 4 minutes. And what a way to end the drought as Jefferson floats one up. 3 in double figures for the Nets tonight, led by the 16 of Jefferson. Wallace from right inside.
I'm a little bit surprised Larry Brown doesn't go zone so that they can't run the play that they draw up here. New Jersey obviously has a set play they want to run. And it's to get Lucius Harris an open jump shot.
And that's exactly what they get.
Detroit has gone small right now. They have Lindsey, Hunter, Phillips, and Hamilton out there.
And Wallace and Okur, the big guys, and a big-time 3 outside the second tonight, authored by Lindsey Hunter. Here comes Kenyon Martin, picked up by Ben Wallace.
That was power there. Normally he has to try to pump fake on Ben Wallace. That time he just goes quickly right to the basket.
New Jersey has had to go inside because their outside game has been horrible. 2 of 14 shooting threes, as we mentioned. The Pistons 5 of 11 with the 3-point shooting night. Phillips with a couple, and Lindsey Hunter with a couple. Here comes Hamilton with the nice fake. Harris counted for 2 and a foul. Kidd's got 8.5 and 11 for the game. Jason also has 7 assists. I mentioned before, 1 tie. There were over 20 ties in that 4-hour game the other night. A steal by Kidd. Look at the speed. You were just talking about that of Hamilton. Jefferson trailing and putting it in. And New Jersey to within 4 of Detroit with 5.5 to play in the third quarter. Timeout Pistons.
Rip Hamilton time here. They're going to try to free him up for a jump shot.
Kidd quickly converges defensively. Shot clock is at 7. Hamilton to Rasheed Wallace. He's effective there and puts him up 75-71.
Great catch.
There's not won many close games. As the graphic just showed, Jefferson down the lane. Rebound, Jefferson going up, knocked away. Collins comes up with it, and Jefferson trying to reload. Only 2 of 14 3-point shooting for New Jersey. And Jefferson takes the long one and drops down the lane. That is the first New Jersey field goal in almost 4 minutes. Half-minute to play in regulation with the Pistons on top by 2. No fouls to give either way. Hamilton with Kidd bumping out. Richard Hamilton with a big-time shot. And for the game, a game-high 24 points. And Hamilton puts the Pistons up by 4 with 15.5 seconds to play in regulation.
Now watch the switch on this screen roll. Jason Kidd goes on the screen. Finds Rasheed Wallace inside. Richard Hamilton with a nice pass. The drive by Jefferson to make it 2 once again. And then Detroit, the up fake. Jason Kidd bumps him. The follow through by Richard Hamilton. He knocks the shot down. The Pistons by 4.
Jason Kidd, who told me this morning that 3 days of rest has helped that bone bruise in his knee. Rasheed Wallace is playing with a bad foot. Kenyon Martin goes right at him for the first basket of the game. Hamilton coming off the excellent Game 6, where he led Detroit in points and forced the Game 7 with a road win in New Jersey on Sunday. The turnover, and here's transition with Kittles. 4 early points for the Nets has quieted the sellout crowd.
You had a zone 1 possession. You have Kittles covering. You have Kittles covering Hamilton on the other possession. Both of them a little bit of a change.
Rasheed Wallace to Ben Wallace.
Because if you start out cold, each shot or play becomes incrementally harder. And we'll see if guys who start out cold in the first quarter are able to pick up the nose and get back on their game in the last 3 quarters.
Rasheed Wallace banged for position, made a bad pass. Here come the Nets in transition. Right back to Kidd. Jefferson to Martin. Beautiful job by Kenyon Martin getting it right back to Jason Kidd. The decision maker picked the right one. Jefferson, a 2. Richard Jefferson, who has been a breakthrough performer this season. Averaged 18.5 in the regular season, and he's upped it to 20 a game in the playoffs.
Well, if you didn't know much about Richard Jefferson coming into this series, you're finding out why he's going to be on the Olympic team. I mean, he's really improved his range, his half court, and right now, a lot of times in the half court, instead of Jason Kidd, they count on him to create.
Martin's block fell right into the hands of Rasheed Wallace as we come to the halfway mark of the first quarter. Corner Billups, that's 3. Richard Hamilton gave up his dribble. Jefferson has the defensive assignment. You think Ben or Rasheed will go to the hoop, and he does. No room, every pass, every shot, defended like it's the last. Kidd continues to struggle from the outside. He's never been a great outside shooter. Career, he's under 40%. No reason to expect him to turn it around at this late stage in his excellent NBA career. They go right back to that, coach. Rasheed, this time Kenyon Martin's there. Step across the lane. Ben Wallace chases it down.
This is how Larry Brown wants to play. He likes possessions and then trying to score late in the shot clock rather than early in the shot clock. He feels if they score late in the shot clock, it's a huge advantage.
And one. Wallace.
How many people do you think had that game?
How many people at the game?
Yeah.
They might have hit triple digits.
Wallace, a 3. And the rebound by Kidd, trying to force the issue on a miss. Kenyon Martin is right at Rasheed Wallace.
You know what? You can see in his eyes how much more confident he is this year in taking that shot.
Kittles a 2. Nets in need of offense. Just Collins' 3rd field goal in the last 5 games. A former Stanford star who was just as surprised as everyone with the word that Mike Montgomery might be coming to the NBA. Hamilton, a 3. And Lawrence Frank says enough. Timeout, New Jersey.
That time Rodney Rogers switched on to Hamilton. He kicked the ball, and then Rogers falls asleep and just sucks in, and Hamilton gets a wide open look. And if he gets started, guess what? New Jersey's in trouble.
Richard Hamilton has 7. Ben and Rasheed Wallace each have 6.
Well, it's funny, Rip Hamilton, the king of the mid-range, has made a layup and a 3 and missed every shot in mid-range.
Rodney Rogers put it on the floor when he saw Williamson and explodes to the goal. And Larry Brown saying, Memento Court, what are you thinking about? You got to be there to protect the rim.
But what happened on that play is you saw Jason Collins hold Ben Wallace from coming to Rodney Rogers. And yesterday, Larry Brown's coaching staff was complaining about the holding of Collins when Wallace is in the held position.
It's a mismatch defensively for Jefferson. Hamilton, there you go, Tom, furthering your point. Can't do it from 10 to 20, but he's banged 2 threes. The Pistons lead by 9, their largest of the night. And give Corliss Williamson a 3rd assist as well. Somebody has to want to shoot, and Jefferson answers the call. Delay of game warning. The Nets knocked it away after it went through the basket. That's the first. Next one's a technical, and Hamilton is heating up. Kidd on the push with Kittle. Good tip by Jefferson. Also a good job of Rasheed Wallace contesting the shot, but not picking up the third foul.
Well, it's a great job by Jefferson following the play. You never assume, whether it's a layup or not, the shot's going to be made.
Run something for Hamilton. Off the Wallace screen. It was covered well by Jason Kidd. Tayshaun Prince with Jefferson legally leaning on him. Big block. You know Prince is a lefty. Doesn't go right often. Played it well. Transition 2 for Kittles. There you go. A couple of bang-bangs in transition. And Larry Brown will get a 22nd after the Pistons take it across midcourt.
I can't remember the last time New Jersey scored in the half court, but they do score in the open court.
And they're all trying to get what that guy has, Bill Laimbeer. He and the Detroit Shock won the WNBA championship. Whereas Bill, a member of the Bad Boys champions in 89 and 90. His 40 hangs from the rafters here at the Palace. Out of the timeout, Billups right to the cup.
What's scary is New Jersey, you're down 19, and if you keep going at this pace, you might not get 65, which means Detroit, all they have to do is score another 20 to win this game.
And the whole thing is Detroit's got everybody playing well. Billups is playing well.
Ice.
Well, they got to find some offense. They have to find a way to get guys to the free throw line, make the free throws. Every opportunity you get from now on in, you have to take advantage when you get open.
Scalabrine tried to get it going with a 3. Ben Wallace ingested that rebound. He looked like the trunk of an elephant. Mike James. Wallace on the finish. Gary Kittles inside. The first Nets field goal of the half. They were 0 of their first 8 here in the third.
They're bomb happy on that one, weren't they? They worked about 7 or 8 of them out on him.
Martin has Prince. That means there's a mismatch with Rasheed Wallace. He's got Jefferson. He's got Chu.
High five in the front row as he goes by.
He's playing a pretty good game.
Yes, he has.
Now on the outside, on Detroit. A hole on the jersey. Third quarter, we talked about who would bring the energy for the Nets. The energy has been brought by Detroit in general, Ben Wallace in specific.
Well, not only getting rebounds, hitting a jump shot. You see the offensive monster jam right there. You know what else he's done? He's drawn 2 fouls by going to the board.
Yeah.
They've had to hold him to keep him off the offensive board.
Rasheed Wallace going to the bench as Kittles makes his first. Corliss Williamson is coming to the game for Detroit. And now Chauncey Billups will come in to get Rip Hamilton.
And before you think this is over, which it's being close to, but Detroit can go through stretches too of 6 and 7 minutes where they may make one field goal. I know it's a little more difficult to hold them to that at home, but don't think Detroit's just going to keep scoring at this pace. Well, they've just missed too many easy opportunities. Free throw line, layups, open jump shots. You can get away with that sometimes when you're at home. When you're on the road, when you're the road team, you have to play a cleaner game.
Oh, good night. I mean, are you kidding me?
Ben Wallace getting a touch out of a timeout. Larry Brown feeding him. He's been doing so much of the dirty work here. Give me a play. He goes in and draws the foul by Rodney Rogers. Finishes, and it's going to 25.
He's always the last one to leave a Pistons practice. He's always working on his shot. Fans would be so afraid when Wallace would take a shot last year. It's like you'd see them take the fetal position in unison. No, don't shoot. But he has gained confidence this year because of what you said as Kenyon Martin scores. And George, it goes back to the school you're from, North Carolina, the Dean Smith School of good things happen when you go inside first. Right. And you've got to have a guy on the floor with some confidence to take that shot inside.
And I think Larry's encouraged him.
Stop it. Timeout Nets. of 9 from the field, 18 points, 6 rebounds.
Look at that. He knows it's going in, too.
He looks like Tom Tolbert on the jumper.
Way, gooseneck. That's unbelievable. 15 bong tonight?
They got to make a shot.
I'm trying to find something there. We talked about a little earlier. You go from 25 to 15, and 15 still a substantial lead. But if you're the Pistons, you're thinking, how do we let this get to 15? So you're not thinking about what you should be doing. You're thinking about what you could have done to already salt this game away.
A 9-0 run is stopped by a Phillips 3.
That being said,
that's what kills. That's what when a comeback comes, and then all you got to do is make one shot.
Yeah.
And that shot now is deflated the balloon, and New Jersey's got to blow it back up.
Rodney Rogers, 2 threes in the quarter, brings out a third. Ben Wallace rebound.
Just the best. Almost hit the throw going by there. The throw's better. We talked about what a great body that guy has. Throw's better though. He's gonna blow that thing out more often.
Hamilton the triple. Back-to-back threes. Remove much of the doubt. And remember, we talked earlier about the timeout that the Nets don't have because they called one at the end of the first half. They have one to take at some point here in this fourth quarter. But that is it. Phillips and Hamilton have hit 7 3-pointers tonight. Hamilton forces the steal. And here he is with O'Poor.
Give them a lot of credit. I mean, they had 2 years, a tremendous 2 years. Came up short against a better team this year, but they got a lot. You know, they got a lot of good players on the team. 2 of their cornerstones, if they keep King and Morton, you got a 3 and a 4. They were starters in this league, and I think they get a little tinkering here and there. But when you have cornerstone players, you always got a chance, and they have those.
One more for Prince. Oh! He finally hits it, and that will be in the exclamation point. After 8 misses, Prince bangs a triple. The Nets take their last timeout, and New Jersey is on its way out. The doors to the Palace will stay open. The Pistons are going back to the conference finals.
The Indiana Pacers, the 2-time All-Star, the NBA Defensive Player of the Year, the veteran with the fire and determination of his younger self, and the leader coaching against his former team. The Detroit Pistons, their offensive machine, their defensive tandem, and the Hall of Fame coach on a mission. Tonight, the 2 best in the East begin their battle. The prize, a chance to play for an NBA championship. It's the Pistons and the Pacers, Game 1 next.
Reggie Miller cuts to the basket, and Ben Wallace rejects that shot. The 33rd block shot just of the playoffs for Big Ben.
He's been dominant in the playoffs offensively.
Nice inbound to Artest. He missed with the left hand. Tayshaun Prince is happy, and now Prince running the other way, trying to beat him to the goal. Lost the handle.
Yeah, the pass was too late. He ran out of court, and that's what made him bobble the ball.
Tinsley gives it up. Artest has really improved as a 3-point shooter. This one's in and out. And it's Wallace with the rebound. And stolen by Tinsley. Tinsley takes it in off the glass.
Detroit came out and played a zone, which is interesting because Larry Brown really does not like playing zone, but it's been effective. He also, his career so far, reminds me a lot of Jermaine O'Neal. Young is taking time, and there's Rip Hamilton again off a screen.
O'Neal, nice extra pass to Tinsley.
The maturity of Jermaine O'Neal.
It's not about the points for him anymore. It's about winning basketball games and making his teammates better.
He knows he's going to be a 20-10 guy. That'll take care of itself. Hamilton over O'Neal. Quite a shooter. 13 for Rip Hamilton.
It's like a walk on the park.
6 on the shot clock. Ben Wallace in the low block. Gives it up to Tayshaun Prince. Perfect pass. Tinsley gives it up to O'Neal.
So that's his game again.
Wallace just snatched that one off the head of Jamal Tinsley for his 13th rebound. Tayshaun for 3. And he got his own save there on the baseline. Hamilton from the free throw line.
The move Rip Hamilton made, he took one fake, one dribble, didn't go anywhere, but got himself wide open, standing still.
He's pretty efficient with the dribbles, that's for sure. It's a 6-point game. Rick Carlisle's just diffused the whole situation. He says, hey, you know, I changed jobs. That happens in this business. And the guy that took my job's a Hall of Fame coach. What am I supposed to say?
Yeah, I can tell you that coaches change jobs.
We're under 9 minutes. Wallace, the bounce pass to Hamilton. What a great look.
He never stopped moving. Never.
Phillips, Okur, Hamilton, Rasheed Wallace, Corliss Williamson on the floor for the Pistons. And then Okur. Phillips has not scored in the second half. Harrington with a steal.
Another turnover.
5 on the shot clock. Tinsley leaves it for O'Neal. He got a good look. Artest trying to hustle for the rebound. Goes sprawling out of bounds.
Have you ever seen a game with this many guys on the floor? Every single play, there's 2 and 3 guys down on the floor. And this is all about hustle plays from both teams right now. Going right back.
Trying to get it to him. They'll have to make the extra pass maybe to get it there, if they can get it there. Now Reggie Miller gives it to Foster on a drive. And Jeff Foster, who had a big game against Miami, just got his first basket of the night to tie it up.
That shot was called again by O'Neal because they had the front.
Tie game at 74. Game 1 Eastern Conference Finals. 1 minute left in regulation. Air ball by Phillips. Out of bounds to the Pacers. He got around a pick. There's never been a better three-point shooter or a guy in the clutch. It's Miller time. Tayshaun Prince packs it down, gets it right back from Wallace, and he doesn't miss. Corliss Williamson trying to muscle Bender inside, and he got it. Corliss Williamson off the glass. Okur, tough catch on the baseline. Trying to back Crozier in, and does.
Well, Okur is giving the Pistons some huge minutes right now.
He's their leading scorer.
He's their best player in this half.
There's the bench, and it's all Okur with 9. O'Neal takes everybody with it.
It's rare that you will see a Piston late in recovery, but here it is. Okur shows Tayshaun Prince had his back to the play and reacted late.
Which would be his second of this half. Does. Fans asking for some defense. I'd say we've had defense from both teams, wouldn't you?
Oh, there's no doubt.
Prince on a runner. Tayshaun quiets down the capacity house, and we're tied at 33. Johnson has played much of the first half at point because Jamal Tinsley had foul trouble early and then picked up his third foul a few minutes ago. Johnson leaves it for O'Neal. The tip out to O'Neal that set up Reggie Miller's shot in game one. There's a Pacer turnover, only their fifth of the half, but an untimely one as they led by 2 with a minute and a half to go. Phillips, nice lead for Corliss Williamson. Here's the final 5 seconds. Rasheed Wallace got it to Chauncey Billups. He'll have a good look, but he gives it up. James will take the shot. Air ball.
Boy, Billups should have taken that.
Should have. He had nobody near him. He could have pulled up and taken the 3 himself, but he gave it up.
Ben Wallace didn't play much of the first half at all.
He got those 2 fouls, and he never came back out. So he's fresh and ready to go, that's for sure. Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, with 5 on the shot clock. And Foster bumped him. Reggie Miller over Hamilton. Hamilton lobs to Wallace, and he almost lost the handle.
You can see it happening, Brad. Jermaine O'Neal was more focused on Hamilton on the post than his own man. He lost sight of it. Ben Wallace saw that and got the dunk, or the layup, or whatever you call that.
Wallace has been the man this quarter, and he... Anthony Johnson trying to pick and roll with O'Neal, and Chauncey Billups stepped in to swipe that one away. Wallace again. He's the man right now.
Great find.
They lob it into him. He knows he's got to shoot and shoot in a hurry. Well, he's going to go to the rack with it, and he wasted too much time. And Jermaine O'Neal not only rejected it after the shot clock expired, but he let Wallace know about it.
But again, he had a chance to catch that on the post. Instead, he pops out behind the three-point line.
Let's see if that O'Neal block, even though time was out officially when it happened, will inspire the Pacers. And Hunter picks up a foul.
Look at Rip Hamilton on the bench right now. He's upset at the last call.
Now watch this. Already.
That's as clean of a block that you will ever see on a dunk.
Not only.
No body, all hand-to-hand. I mean, that's excellent.
Our test with Chauncey Billups on. There's a mismatch. Now he gets double-teamed by 2 smaller guys. Bender, he'll try a 3. Harrington trying to go up and around Okur. Sends it out.
See, that's where Ben Wallace is great. He's a good defender on his own guy. He's a great defender when he can come from the weak side and swat shots. I mean, that is an amazing block shot.
18,000 people at a block party. Tinsley, he got an opening.
Wow.
Larry Brown said, look, we got to get stops. We've got to win the secondary break, and we've got to rebound the basketball. Then he looked up at the clock and said, listen, guys, all we have to do is win the next 9 minutes. And they start with a basket, Brad.
Fouls him. Of their last 13 missed shots, 6 of them have been blocked. And here's Detroit. Coming down court, Hamilton and Billups together. Rip Hamilton lays it in.
The 2 most efficient players. Now, Rip Hamilton has just drawn an offensive foul on Reggie Miller. So the game continues. He learned from that last one. When Reggie pushed that time, Rip Hamilton react. Now watch Rip. It's the same reaction. He's a quick learner.
He is. He's a quick study.
And you know what, Reggie Miller, he didn't even complain because he's thinking, wow.
I did it last time.
Exactly. The game and within the game between those two has been really neat to watch.
It sure has. Here they come again. Rip got around a pick. Reggie got back on him. Now he drives.
That's why he wears that mask.
He took one in the face right there.
Right in the face.
Biggest lead of the night for the Pistons. Rick Carlisle's seen enough for right now. He wants to talk about it.
Brad, it's no way that I would want to officiate this game. I mean, this is the most difficult game I have ever seen to officiate because of the energy put out defensively.
Tinsley trying to answer. Again around a pick. Momentarily shed Reggie Miller. Now went between the legs and almost lost it. On a runner. Jermaine O'Neal with a rebound.
He wasn't passing that. He felt it. He was going to take it.
Jermaine O'Neal hasn't scored in the second half. Tinsley keeps it alive. Looking for some help to get rid of it right now. Artest. Oh, I don't know how that went in.
He's stronger. He's stronger from here.
Wow. Hamilton and Artest really bumping down low. Wallace. Ben Wallace got it back. Missed twice, but he's fouled the second time.
Oh, they're not giving Reggie Miller an opening tonight. Not yet.
Tinsley airballs a three. That was a horrible shot.
See, it looks like the Pacers are a little bit out of their offense is an understatement.
Yeah.
But the fact that everything's a jump shot and nothing's down low. Now, they won game one by attacking the basket. In this fourth quarter, everything's been outside. I'm going to say it again. They have to find Jermaine O'Neal.
And Ron Artest, I think, is just fouled out. O'Neal driving the paint and missed inside.
But I like the look. They got it to him, not as deep on the post as he wanted to get it, but he got all the way to the basket.
Chauncey Billups just double dribbled around the middle of the floor. That's a huge turnover.
That's a huge turnover.
An unforced one.
No, he didn't touch it. They're saying that it was a double dribble because it did look like that he was reaching to touch it, but he never touched it.
Closing in on a minute. And now it's Hamilton again chasing Miller. A minute to play. 6 on the shot clock. Rasheed Wallace works baseline against Foster. Ben Wallace had his hand on it, but Tinsley came out of the pile with it. And he's hurt.
But more importantly, Reggie Miller is fouled again.
Hamilton trying to get free of Miller on the baseline. Gave it right back to Wallace. O'Neal blocked it. 4 on the shot clock. I don't know if Billups knows that. He lost the handle. Tinsley, Reggie Miller. And it's blocked again.
Wow. What a block.
How did Prince get there?
What a block. I didn't think it was any way possible for him to get this shot.
In the open court, looked like an easy layup for a tie, and Tayshaun Prince came out of nowhere.
It was a good block. I got to tell you, live, I thought it might be goaltending, but I think that is one of the most amazing blocks that I have ever seen. He had no chance. I'm telling you, Brad, no chance to get this ball.
Reggie Miller was fronting Tayshaun Prince. The extra pass, Wallace to Wallace. Rashid with a pass and Ben with the throwdown. O'Neal's been struggling mightily. 16 points in the first half in game 2, none in the second half. He crosses the lane and scores there. Tough shot.
Yeah, but I like it.
Tinsley. O'Neal with a left hand. Oh, now that's strong.
He's doing what he did in game 1.
Here's a steal by Artest and a foul on hand. Here's Harrington working against Ben Wallace. He scored last time he had it. And he scored again. We have a 2-point ball game. Phillips. Whoa, nice help by Artest. And now comes up with another steal. Pacers can tie. Tinsley didn't leave it for Harrington in a great spot, but with under 2 minutes remaining, Harrington's been the man this quarter. This time he turns it over. And now it's Chauncey Billups on a run out. He leaves it for him.
Ron Artest was furious with his teammate because he was the only guy that got back, and there were 4 Pistons under the basket.
And we approach a minute. Don't forget Toyota halftime report. Kevin and the guys will be along when we finish up quarter number 2 from the Palace. O'Neal bumping, and offensive foul. Rasheed Wallace timed that bump pretty well.
He really did. You know, he could see Jermaine O'Neal crab dribbling down in the receive. 1, 2, gets the offensive foul. He was timing it perfect.
Tinsley, the crossover, goes inside against the big guys and has it blocked by Wallace. Ben Wallace that time. This is where Reggie Miller wants Ron Artest to throw it into him. Oh, but he turned the wrong way. And he threw it away.
Well, the play was for a flare for Reggie Miller. He was going to fake like he wanted it in the corner. Jermaine O'Neal was going to come and give him a pick, but Artest let the ball go before the play could develop.
That's when Ron wishes he was like one of the Globetrotters and had a string on it to pull it back.
You can see Jermaine O'Neal late in your picture. You know, you can see him waiting to set the pick, but Artest lets the ball go. There it is right here.
Another look. And you see Reggie's going, oh, no.
You know, both coaches are saying they're lucky because they know they've only played 1 quarter each so far. The Pacers played great in the second quarter. The Pistons played great in the first quarter.
Pacers turn it over. Bounce pass to Tayshaun Prince. And he's fouled, and he goes down hard on the baseline. Artest was going to make sure that he didn't get the easy one. Reggie Miller gives it back to Tinsley, a 3, and they have gone 20 straight misses on 3-pointers. Billups. Rasheed. About a 4-second difference on the shot and game clock. Jermaine O'Neal. 1 field goal this quarter. And Ben Wallace trying to come up with a steal. Did. He thought Ben Wallace reached around and fouled Jermaine O'Neal, and whether that was a clean block or not, Doc, I think it was the spirit of the thing because he walked all the way out almost to us to protest the call.
Yeah, I don't think Rick Carlisle would have minded if they had thrown him out. And not because he's trying to quit or leave. I think he's trying to show his team that he still believes they can win this game, and he still is in the fight. I also thought he got the tech because Jermaine O'Neal was getting frustrated, and he wanted to show his star young player that he supports him. So there's times when techs are good. In my opinion, that was an excellent time to get a technical foul.
Hamilton Hunter trying to get rid of it. He'll get it back from Ben Wallace and then threw it away. Fred Jones trying to go coast to coast. There's the slam dunk champions.
Look at the Pacers bench. Exactly what Rick Carlisle was looking for.
I'm not quite sure where that last step came from. Rip Hamilton finds Corliss Williamson underneath and Harrington with a foul. And now Austin Crozier coming back the other way. Bender pull up three. Jonathan Bender, his first basket is a big one. Got it to Rasheed. 3 on the shot clock. Hamilton.
Both these teams, either the Timberwolves or the Lakers, would they be licking their chops to face either of these two teams?
Well, it's a different style of play, you know, but I think that feel confident about their offense against these teams.
Reggie Miller just turned around to the other 4 Pacers and yelled, "Let's go." They're looking for a stop. They didn't want that. Billups for 3.
Boy, they turned their back on Chauncey Billups.
He'll have a chance for a 3-point play. O'Neal. The extra bounce, and he puts it in. Harrington backsteps on Rasheed Wallace. Al Harrington with a huge shot.
And that shot gave them the ability now to just play defense. They don't need the foul here.
Harrington's second 3-pointer in the playoffs couldn't come at a bigger time. Here's been the matchup we watched throughout the series. Reggie Miller and Rip Hamilton. Rip with a kick out to Chauncey Billups for 3. Miller, the lob. The kick out to Artest. Right back to Reggie for 3. Got it. Whoa. With Rip Hamilton right in his grill.
Like Reggie Miller said after game 1, all I need is a half a second. I don't know if he had a half a second, but he gets that shot off.
I talked to him before the game and I said, have you had any easy shots? He said, there are no easy shots in this series. Rip Hamilton's first bucket cuts it back to 2. Tinsley, tip in and a slam by O'Neal.
This is the best I've seen the Pacers look as a team since game 1.
Very early, but this is the best shooting we've seen by either team, by both teams, I should say, throughout the series. Ben Wallace with the left hand. In traffic, Tinsley tried to thread a needle to Reggie Miller, and Rip Hamilton stole it. He'll take a pull-up from the free throw line. Every other day, so don't forget, we'll be back with you on Sunday from Indianapolis. Tinsley with a left hand. Nice move, didn't finish. O'Neal will.
Normally, if one of the 3 officials in a game gets injured, the game goes on with only 2, but the NBA is considering having an alternate official in future games, Brad.
Pacers in the first quarter already with 20 points. I mean, this is an explosion for this series. And Jermaine O'Neal goes down clutching his knee. Oh, man, you don't want to see that.
No, you don't.
He was on the baseline going up for a rebound. Let's take another look at it. It's before it was Ben Wallace that was behind him. There was the attempt at the rebound, and he hyperextended that left knee. Ouch. Wow. It doesn't go that way.
No.
Oh, we'll check on him when we come back.
Never know, and they didn't see the replay.
Oh, I don't know if the doctor saw the replay. They might have had a different opinion of a sprain, a mild sprain. We'll wait and see. We'll watch him as Artest takes a 3 and hits it. Ron Artest has pulled a 7-point lead here in the second quarter.
Wow, that's a turnover. Oh, my. Wow. Look at this one.
Oh, boy. Off his foot and out of bounds. That'll drive you crazy. Larry Brown right now, the look on his face like he's about ready to go into a coma.
Yes. I mean, those are the ones where coach you can't even scream at.
I know. Johnson with a little runner. Right. And now Detroit turns it right back over as they've had 4 turnovers their last 4 trips. Harrington drives up and under. Nice move by Al Harrington. He's their leading rebounder tonight and their leading scorer. Looking more like the Ron Artest we saw in the Miami series. Johnson, nice move off the glass for Anthony Johnson. We thought we might even see the veteran Kenny Anderson play some point, and we still may tonight for the Pacers because of Tinsley playing with a bad hamstring and a bad ankle. Reggie Miller, three-pointer on the Pacers 4 for 7 on their three-pointers. Rip Hamilton has an answer as he knocks one down. Remember, they tied for the best road record during the regular season, and they just tack on 3 more. A huge 3 by Austin Crozier with .7 left in the half. And now it's a 10-point advantage for the Pacers at the break. Crozier will try a 3, and he got it. Wow. He ended the quarter with 1, and then he started the quarter with 1.
Exactly.
5 on the shot clock. And he did a nice job of it. And now running the court and saving it by bouncing it off Tayshaun Prince. Crozier has a wide open 3 again. Pacers haven't had a field goal now in like 5 minutes, and that's really the only stretch they've had tonight. They've had many of those, 13 of those coming into the game so far in the series where they've had droughts of 3 minutes or more. They hadn't had one until right now. And Jermaine O'Neal just ended it. Kenny Anderson has an open shot. In and out, and Wallace with the rebound.
Oh, it's no doubt. They're going to leave Kenny Anderson. They're going to make him make shots. He can, but he hasn't shot the ball in so long. They're going to test that theory.
He was the first guy out here tonight to warm up. Phillips over Kenny Anderson for 3. Almost shot that one off the inbound. It'll be Wallace for 3 instead. Missed badly. Rip Hamilton tried to save it, did he? He did. Phillips. To add one. Pacers now have missed 9 of their last 10 shots. The crowd comes to life with a chant of defense as we're under 7 minutes. They're trying to fight their way back in this thing. Artest is open. The rebound is Wallace. Rasheed, that is.
Well, I said if they can get it to 10 with 6, if they score here, they're getting a lot closer.
Phillips got his man to go by. 3. Detroit won't go away. My partner said Phillips is going to get involved soon. I think he's in a rhythm, and I think the Pistons are back in the ballgame. 6:23 to go. Detroit, can they come from way back? Their fans still believe. Crowd is wanting to get crazy. Artest. Boy, big shot.
You know, I know it can beat it.
Under 5 minutes. Artest banging away with Williams.
That's a huge possession. That's a 48. Boy. Those are down.
Pacers win it easily, 83-68. He didn't have time to find the pitch, much less feed him. And now they just threw it away. Rip Hamilton plays it beautifully and lays it in. And a foul. 3:45 left in the half. And Detroit has led the whole way. Here's a block shot by O'Neal. Tinsley waits for company and feeds Artest.
That is a point guard making a play right.
And now the crowd will come to life for the Pacers defense. Hamilton again. He has 10 of the Pistons' 13 points this quarter. Artest almost lost it. Now they're going to say Reggie Miller stepped out of bounds, I think. Hamilton's drawing a crowd, and he's shooting over that crowd. Wow.
You know, O'Neal's been making shots off of ball swings. They're going to have to start going to him just to see how he feels. If he feels good, then you have to get the ball to O'Neal.
Rip Hamilton, unbelievable. What a game. Tinsley trying to push it as fast as he can on a bad leg.
See, no left. I mean, Tinsley right there, you can see it. Any other time, that's 2 points for Jamal Tinsley. He just had no left. You watch it at the very end. I mean, it's almost like he caught a flat tire.
I can almost jump that high. That's not saying.
I don't know, Brad.
Phillips looking for Wallace. The extra pass and one more to Hamilton, who's open. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Hamilton. Oh, man. I don't know.
Whoa. See, that's his name. He can do that because he can get to the bucket.
Even those aren't falling tonight, though.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot left, but I can see that. I mean, watch him. Look at him getting down the floor. Oh, my
Hamilton, score it again.
He's like the Energizer Bunny. I mean, he really is. The guy never stopped moving.
It's going to be Rip Hamilton time in a second. No, he gives it up to Wallace. At the buzzer.
But that was because of Rip Hamilton. You know, Al Harrington was so concerned with Rip Hamilton, he turned his back, helped off receive Wallace. Rip sees it, and so now Wallace gets a wide open three. Everything right now is being caused by Rip Hamilton.
It doesn't matter if he's a shooter or he's the assist man, as he is in this case. Watch this. There's the double team.
Look at Harrington. He's so concerned with Rip, and they should be because he's ripping them up.
Yep. This is the largest deficit for the Pacers so far in the playoffs, Doc, with 4:17 left. When you're down 15, you know you've got a lot of basketball left. There's 16 minutes plus, but are there answers? That's the question right now if you're Rick Carlisle.
Well, this is the tough part because I don't know if Rick Carlisle can answer the questions himself. He doesn't know how healthy Jermaine O'Neal is.
Right.
He knows that's where he wants to go, but he knows if he goes to me, he doesn't know himself if Jermaine can answer. So, again, the guys you have to look for are Artest and Harrington right now.
Artest dribbles into some traffic. Johnson over Billups. Got it. Two-pointer for Anthony Johnson. Oh, what a collision between Anthony Johnson and Corliss Williamson.
Yeah, this is boom. Step that shoulder out, and that's an automatic foul in this league.
Harrington deep on the baseline, knocks it down.
Good offense, though. And that's what Rick Carlisle wants. Dribble penetration, kick. Dribble penetration, kick. That's what they need.
Under 6 minutes now. 11-point Piston lead. Rasheed Wallace open on the baseline. Rip Hamilton caused that again. If the Pacers were the Lakers, they'd have the Pistons right where they wanted them. Down 13. The Lakers come back against Minnesota last night. Only took them about a minute and a half.
It's amazing.
Tinsley, a running 15-footer, and he beat the buzzer. Big shot by Jamal Tinsley.
Yeah.
Artest still on Rip Hamilton. Even drew a double team there momentarily from Reggie Miller, and now everybody switching off defensively, leaving Reggie on Rasheed Wallace with 4 on the shot clock. What a shot. What they have to worry about now, it looks like, is a 3-2 disadvantage and a 3-2 advantage for the Pistons. Here's Reggie, no call. He's looking back, looking for some help. Feeds Jermaine O'Neal, back to Reggie. Back to O'Neal. Maybe Reggie should have taken a couple of those.
That was the end right there. You know, Reggie Miller had 2 opportunities to shoot that 3. If he makes it, it's a 10-point game. The miss, that's it. Now he'll probably make it.
It'll be Hamilton. And that just about tells the story, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That last one for Rip before the timeout. He's 11 out of 29 from outside the arc in the playoffs. And now the Pacers turn the ball over, something they definitely don't need to happen. And it looks like Jermaine O'Neal is going to probably finish game.
Bruised and battered, the Pacers suffered the most devastating blow of the series, and home court advantage faded away. In Game 5, the Pistons dominated with a defensive masterpiece and finished with an offensive showcase, placing Indiana on the brink of extinction. Tonight, the second edition of the Bad Boys head home, ready to close out the series and begin their quest for a championship. Standing in their way, the winningest team in the East. Can they regroup and keep their own trophy hopes alive? Pacers, Pistons, Eastern Conference Finals, Game 6. 2 seconds to shoot. Reggie Miller to inbound. Out to Al Harrington. He takes one dribble and the jumper goes. So Al Harrington hits the first basket of the ballgame.
Rip Hamilton told me before the series, if he keeps moving, then Artest can't put his body on him.
Right.
It's when he stands still that Artest is effective.
Here's Artest powering his way through traffic. Hunter hits the outside jumper.
Great timeout by Rick Carlisle. He doesn't want to give these fans any chance to get into this game.
I think they're into it anyway. 25-16, the Pacers have led the whole way. Kenny Anderson looking for some help. Crozier spins through everybody and turns it over. Let's see if Rip Hamilton touches it this trip down court. Mehmet Okur is also in the lineup for the Pistons. And they turn it over. Another opportunity by the board to try to cut into the lead. Lindsey Hunter gets it back. And Kenny Anderson with a foul. Hamilton baseline. In and out. Well, he had a look.
And that was the best look. That was the best look he's had this evening.
The Pacers, for the 21st time in the series, have a field goal drought of over 3 minutes. It's over 4 right now. But they still have the lead, 25-16. O'Neal gives it up. Artest, the long jumper over Corliss Williamson, and Ben Wallace rips down the rebound.
I don't know if O'Neal knew how open he was when he gave up that ball. I mean, he was right up under the hoop.
Hamilton to Williamson. Wow, everything is in and out. They're going to wait. They can't wait to the third quarter to get down the other end.
No. Well, that basket's not working well.
No, that one's, well, that's true. Detroit shooting 19% from the floor right now. Almost 5 minutes now for the Pacers without a field goal, and still have a 9-point lead. Pacers with Jones, Artest, Harrington, Anthony Johnson, and Jermaine O'Neal on the floor for them. Artest wants a pick from Harrington, and now takes a long shot over Okur.
The last 3 possessions by the Pacers have not been good offense. They're forcing shots now instead of playing freely, taking good shots earlier in the clock.
Okur. This is going to go down in history as the most 5-foot and in missed shots in a finals game. I don't think anybody kept track of that. I'm just going to say it.
I think you're pretty safe.
O'Neal short on that one. Johnson keeps it alive. Jones, a pick and roll to Harrington. And the drought continues. Ben Wallace, his 7th rebound. See if the Pistons can score. Williamson gives it up. Nobody wants it right now because it won't go in for anybody. Rip says, I'll try it, and he doesn't score.
Yeah, and that one was a forced shot. You don't see Rip force many of them, but you can see there he's pressing a little bit. This is a smart move here, going right back to O'Neal.
Ben Wallace almost swiped it from him, knocks it away a second time. And now O'Neal throws it away.
Wow.
Hamilton is fouled this time. Oh, no, he's not.
Yeah, he
pushed
fouled.
off.
Yeah. And again, that's 2 shots in a row where Rip Hamilton decided, I'm going to make something happen, and he's the king of letting things happen. Right now, he's trying to force things.
The score is the same as it was our last time out. Nothing dropping. There's the foul on Hamilton as he continues to struggle.
Well, you know, when I played with kids at basketball camps, I give them a point for hitting the rim. We might have to think about that right now.
Jermaine O'Neal trying to back in Rasheed Wallace.
I like it.
He scores.
I like it. You go out of a timeout.
Crozier backpedals and takes a shot, and it's kept alive by Anthony Johnson.
Rick Carlisle is screaming for them to get it down to Jermaine O'Neal. He's pointed 3 and 4 times. He was pointing down. He wasn't even calling a number. He was saying, get it to the big guy.
All they got was an offensive foul on Artest. Right here. Artest on Hamilton again. Ben Wallace, they'll give him that all night. The crowd urges him to take it, but he got his own miss. And he won't miss that one. O'Neal gives it up. Artest will try a triple, and he knocks it down. Ron Artest has been the offense for the Pacers. He's in double figures with 10. The lead goes back to 6. The opportunities for the Pistons to make it a one-point game or tie it have gone by the boards. Rasheed Wallace for 3. Artest looking for a pick from O'Neal. Gives it up. Crozier for 3. Oh, what a big shot by Crozier. It's not the first time that's happened in this series.
They understand that this is their last chance at home.
Tayshaun Prince, his first field goal, makes it a 3-point game. Johnson gives it back. O'Neal from 17. And Jermaine O'Neal with 6 points. Rip Hamilton on the inbound, trying to find some space and room, and he can't.
Boy, he hit the ground hard.
Artest will try to back Hamilton down. Reggie will try for 3. And he's way long.
And Tayshaun Prince is flying at him.
Jermaine O'Neal, top of the circle, and he knocks it home. Remember, Larry Brown talked about the importance of the first 5 minutes of this third quarter. It hasn't been a very productive one so far for Detroit. Here's Rasheed Wallace with Harrington on his hip. Baseline jumper, that's his shot. Whoa, jump ball. How about that muscle?
That's great. I love what Artest is doing, though, Brad. He's demanding that Jermaine O'Neal get to the post. Now, they've come up empty on both of them, but it's a good move by Artest.
And Rip Hamilton ahead to Corliss Williamson. You call it, Doc. Ten seconds left, third quarter.
Pacers have ended with threes.
Huge shot, just as Crozier's was to end the second quarter. Anthony Johnson knocks it down from three-point land. Okur, Hunter, Hamilton, Wallace, and Corliss Williamson on the floor, and it's Rip Hamilton. And Anthony Johnson will set it back up. O'Neal.
Boy, he loves those elbows.
Yes, he does.
I mean, that's the place he's made shot. High pick and roll, elbow jump shot, and on the post. Those are his two areas.
Freddie Jones guarding Rip Hamilton right now. Hamilton in the paint.
See, that's the difference between Freddie Jones and Ron Artest. When Rip Hamilton lowers his shoulder into Ron Artest is still standing there. When he lowers his shoulder into Fred Jones, he backs up and reaches, and that gives Rip Hamilton freedom.
O'Neal baseline over Ben Wallace. Crozier. Billups for a tie. The Pistons have their starting five on the floor. Miller. Chauncey Billups. Pacers have led by as many as 14 in the first half.
Oh, wow. Artest just leveled Rip Hamilton. See, that hurt. But Ron Artest thought that that was dirty. It wasn't. That was dirty. He knew it right away.
Will the two-point lead become more? Chauncey Billups trying to make it so. Johnson, he's been tough tonight. He leaves it for O'Neal. Just as Doc called it, Jermaine O'Neal cuts it to two. Looking to cross the paint, goes baseline and goes strong. And Reggie Miller's got the rebound. Pacers with a chance to tie or lead. And there it is. But he didn't score this time. Hamilton trying to feed Ben Wallace. And he throws it away. Terrible possession by the Pistons. Anthony Johnson hoists it up here.
They have all the time in the world, Brad.
Everybody needs to take a deep breath right now. Hamilton got away from Artest. Trying to get the ball in. A struggle to do so to O'Neal. Now it's Artest driving on Wallace. Trying to throw one down, and it didn't go. And Rasheed Wallace with a rebound. And there'll be less than a minute to play. A deafening crowd of over 22,000 at the Palace. They can sense it. Tayshaun Prince. The Prince of the Palace saves his best for Game 6. They're trying to force Game 7 back home on Thursday. O'Neal over Wallace.
It's just a 4-point game here. And when Reggie Miller's in a basketball game, this is not over.
Rip Hamilton over 20 points for the 10th straight playoff game. The 10th straight Eastern Conference Final playoff game. Larry Brown meets half his team on the floor. 33.3 left.
Larry Brown did not like the way that possession was going. He saw them being trapped. Good timeout. You don't want a turnover at this point of the game, obviously.
Here we go in the final half minute of the game. Trying to trap Chauncey Billups, and they can't. Not yet, anyway.
They're close to it.
He gives it up to Tayshaun Prince. 5 on the shot clock. Prince goes up off the glass, and the rebound is Artest.
Find the shooters. Find the shooters.
15 seconds left. Artest, long three.
Boy, they didn't need that. Pacers have to foul here, Brad.
That's what Rick Carlisle's telling them right now. And they can't wait to be choosy about who's going to be fouled. And you know Billups and Rip Hamilton are both 88% free throw shooters. And Larry Brown's going to make sure he doesn't take a timeout with him. Tayshaun Prince will be the man to trigger it. Maybe he's the man that's going to trigger the win. With a big defensive play and a big shot. Ben Woods!
24 seconds to live, and 200% is what I'm gonna give. So I push through the pain and raise my game. A victory is the only thing to gain. Even though I'm playing the game, I ain't playing. The trophy is the reason why I came. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Yeah. Let's get it started. Let's get it
started. It's the finals. We're hearing from Stuart Scott shortly. On the other sideline, Bryant missing the fall away, and Hamilton with a rebound. Phillips back to Hamilton.
I think Larry Brown would take that. That's Kobe Bryant taking jump shots. He doesn't want Kobe Bryant beating guys off the dribble, creating havoc.
Here's Campbell, a former Laker. Beautiful feed to Hamilton.
We have 4 turnovers because you don't know what you want to do. You want to pass the ball.
Some of those may be available again if he doesn't come back. Here's Billups driving to the basket. O'Neal coming out high. And then Kobe misses what would have been a long 2.
Everything's extended out right now for the Lakers. They're getting shots, but you can see, and this is why Phil Jackson was so upset in the one timeout, they're not getting their shots.
Hunter pressured by Fisher. Shaquille comes away from the basket. Williamson gets the rebound, puts it back in. You know, Doc, one thing we should talk about right now is the change in format. In the earlier rounds, it goes 2-2 and then 1-1-1. You go back and forth. In the finals, 2 at home, 3 on the road, and then 2 at home if there is a 6th and 7th game. It would seem to me as Payton steals it and he has Kobe out in front, and the Lakers take the lead. Here is Detroit. They've had the lead several times in the game, down by only 1.
Well, and you look at how the Lakers scored. You know, 23 of their 41 points were either second chance points or off the Pistons turnover. So they haven't scored much at all in half-court offense.
Lakers undefeated at home in the playoffs, 9-0, but they've had some close calls, including the other night when they trailed in the second half.
Guys, I talked to Ben Wallace before the game. Everybody knows about the guy's defense, but he said he's been working on that 15-foot jump shot. And I said to him, well, can you hit it? And he said, you ain't seen it? You'll see it. He hasn't airballed a 15-footer, but he's also hit a 15-footer. And he said, here's the deal. Even if I miss the first couple of shots, because Shaq's going to give me that shot, I still got to keep taking it to make sure he comes out and D's me up, guys.
Did he check with Larry?
No, I can guarantee you that. You know, it's funny. He's going to keep taking it. And he can keep making it, but Shaq's still not coming out.
Underneath, Malone finally scores. to O'Neal.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Kobe Bryant guarding Billups pretty soon, because Rip Hamilton is off the floor.
Bryant. Off the glass, 2 minutes remaining now in the third quarter.
I'll tell you, the Lakers have a great matchup on the other end with Kobe Bryant.
From the corner. Swatted out by Malone to Bryant. Bryant with Hunter on him, and now Prince picks him up. Shaquille back to Kobe after he sets the screen. George comes in and can't save it from going out of bounds and goes tumbling into the first row.
I think Detroit's in better rhythm coming into this game than the Lakers are.
An 8-second differential, and Hamilton went down and is just now getting up in backcourt as Kobe has that one blocked. And when Hamilton went down, it means that as he stayed down there, he's able to score. Lakers beat the Rockets in 5. Then were 2-0 down to the Spurs, came back and won the next 4, and then took Minnesota, the #1 seed in the West, out in 6 games. Lakers now down by 13, and Bryant starts to come back. The Lakers have lived on the precipice almost the entire season, and they've put themselves with a loss tonight in that same relative position because Detroit will, among other things, rest home court advantage. Bryant from way outside. Bryant again. Wallace. Wow. If somebody told you O'Neal would get 34, Bryant would get 25, Rasheed Wallace would have foul trouble and not play very much in the first half, you'd be in Los Angeles, you'd be facing the vaunted Lakers, and you'd win by about a dozen. What were those odds?
Well, I like what Larry Brown decided to do. Kobe Bryant and Shaq, you score. We're going to defend you, but you can score. We're not going to help, but we're going to shut everybody else down. And that's exactly what the Detroit Pistons did. And now we're no longer talking about bad offense. We're talking about great Detroit Piston defense.
Bryant feeds Shaq. George gets free from 16. Malone with a back tap, but nobody's there except Rasheed Wallace. And it goes into Ben Wallace, and Detroit takes the lead.
Walton has averaged only 4 minutes so far in the playoffs.
Luke mainly finishes up. Sometimes, though, Jackson has inserted him in the second quarter, tonight in the first.
He's showing a lot of trust, though. Your team was struggling before he came in, and you go to a rookie in Luke Walton who has answered.
Campbell. Underneath, what a pass. Beauty to Hamilton.
You know, the difference in this game and in game 1, this game also.
For the Pistons, again, Rasheed Wallace, as was the case in the first game, on the bench. He's been out since there were 3 minutes, 7 seconds remaining in the opening period. Bryant is free after it went all the way around on a 360. Bryant knocks it away, and then Payton with a soft, underhanded pass, and Bryant cashes.
Laker defense is the story so far in the first half. They've been unbelievable. They've been active, and Kobe Bryant has been the leader of their defense so far.
And Detroit was shot very well the other night, hitting only 35%. Lakers are 42%. 8-second differential. Offensive foul, and Hamilton wound up and gets a technical.
That's frustration.
Bryant, softly. Wow. Billups. Follow is short by Wallace.
Even that play, but look at him go up the floor.
Bryant.
Big shot here for the Pistons.
Pistons will, in all likelihood, get the final shot of the quarter. Milking it down. Kobe stays with Billups, but then Billups gets free inside.
Boy, Shaq wants the ball.
Gets it. 4 on the clock. And Ben Wallace rejects it soundly.
That doesn't happen very often.
Prince, defended by Bryant, works off the screen, gets free but misses, but then gets his own rebound and gets fouled.
Yeah, I think what Phil Jackson is doing is looking at the score and not the clock on when to sub.
And Bryant is furious he didn't get a foul.
Wow. It did look like he was hit on the arm on the shot.
Hamilton. 8 on the shot. Malone goes down, no foul. It's dropped off. Reverse layup and jammed by Ben Wallace. Phillips. Chauncey clearing it out. Then Hamilton gets free. Shot clock at 6. What a rebound by Wallace, and he puts it back in. He is just magnificent on the glass. 14 rebounds for Ben Wallace. Now Shaq has to get it out to Malone, looking for the 3. Here's Bryant, a pressured 3. That doesn't go. O'Neal with a rebound, gets the putback and gets fouled. And now up comes a huge foul shot for O'Neal.
So what Phil Jackson is going to do, he's going to put Rush back on Hamilton, and he's going to put Kobe on Billups because of the size factor.
Prince to inbound.
If Ben Wallace touches the ball, they will foul him.
11-second differential. A little handoff, like a football handoff to Billups. He'll go all the way. There's no foul call, but the Lakers get the rebound. And here comes Kobe. He looks over at the bench. Phil says, well, it's interesting. Phil, at first, didn't call for the timeout. Bryant took it into the front court, which is one of the things he wanted to do. And then Walton looked over and saw Jackson and called the timeout with 10.9.
You know what he wanted? He wanted them to get the rebound and push it up and look for a quick 3. But because they took their time, then he decided we have to call a timeout. He wanted them to go.
Yeah, he was caught in between in a way, yeah.
You can see him sitting at first waiting, and then because they were so passive coming up the floor, it was a good timeout.
Malone will inbound. Fisher's in the game, Walton, O'Neal, and of course Bryant.
And everyone is paying attention to Kobe Bryant.
They start with Shaq. He gives it to Walton. Here comes Kobe. Less than 5 from way outside. Got it! Oh, man! With 2.1.
And the biggest part of this overtime is 2 things. 1, Shaq has 5 fouls. And 2, 64% of the time, the team who scores the first bucket now wins the game.
There it is right there. 6 and you're gone. Both Wallace's and Campbell with 4. Peyton, Fisher, and Bryant with 4. To Shaq. Phillips, off balance, doesn't get it. That time they had moved Shaq outside. Can't take the chance of him fouling underneath.
No, they couldn't. And not only that, they couldn't take the chance of Shaq stepping out.
Bryant off a Malone screen all the way. Oh, got the bounce. 31 for Bryant, 25 for O'Neal. No other Laker in double figures. Phillips has 27. Hamilton has 24 for the Pistons. Phillips carrying on a conversation with Steve Javie. Shot clock at 7. Hamilton whips it outside the Prince. Shot clock at 1. Did he get it off? No, he didn't. Crowd uproarious. Walton. Bryant. Here's O'Neal. 6-point lead.
At this rate, I would like to see an 11-game series. At least.
Hamilton, little runner in the lane goes to make it a 4-point
Good
lead.
move by Larry Brown. He knows now that if Rip Hamilton is aggressive, Kobe Bryant has to avoid the foul.
Has to back off. Lakers trailed 89-83 with 36 seconds left. O'Neal, the three-point play. Bryant had the three. Kobe off the glass. Amazing. What a game. What a game. Here's Bryant. Losing the ball. Prince was on him. Now Billups through the lane and a foul on his way to the basket. Shoot around today. Malone did next to nothing. Didn't do very much at practice yesterday before the Lakers boarded. Hamilton drives. Payton comes over to double him. Scores anyway. That's deflected by Prince, but O'Neal got it. Now Bryant, 4 on the shot clock from way outside. And Hamilton skies for the rebound. Hamilton, long 2, got it. Clock was reset at 14 on the inbounds. Williamson, underneath, got it.
This series is not about Detroit's defense to me. It's about how well the Lakers can defend.
Mehmet Okur comes in. He has the ball. Big man from Turkey replacing Ben Wallace. And Williamson takes the pass and scores. 29-16 Detroit. Kobe gets pressured. Kobe puts one up and finally knocks one down. Bryant. So he has 2 field goals now in about a minute and 45. Hamilton misses that shot. There were a lot of ways that the Lakers still could have won the game. And of course, there's the Larry Johnson situation from years ago, when you foul him and he makes a 4-point play.
Yeah, once Kobe got the ball, they couldn't foul. That was for sure.
Fisher from the corner, got it. Shaquille O'Neal with only 2 points in this half. He inbounded with 14. Bryant launches it and makes it. So Kobe Bryant, who had 1 point in the first half, has 9 points now in the game. Billups gets doubled. Billups has it stolen. Payton to the hoop. Lays it off underneath. Bryant with the jam. So now it's 50.
And the biggest question is if Karl Malone can play. He gets a couple extra days of rest.
Hamilton to the hoop. You know, the downside to it, Doc, on the other side would be the travel, because you know it's east against west. It's normally coast to coast or close to it. Off the side of the board, the Pistons get the rebound, though. Instead of running that, the clock goes pure, puts it up. Only question left is, can they hold the Lakers to under 70, which would be an all-time Laker playoff franchise low in the shot clock era. And the Pistons have held a lot of teams under 70 this year, and they're going to hold the Lakers under 70. In the conference championship round, Pavetta and Rush were 2 of the officials. Ken Maurer was the other, and that was the night Bryant had to come out early with 3 fouls as Kobe drives and puts it in left-handed.
They want to force Detroit at some point in this game to go double coverage to free up the other guys.
Bryant, short. Wallace gets the rebound.
For the Lakers, and it's all been Shaq. Kobe gets an open look.
Bryant, boy, he's not even close tonight. Ben Wallace, here comes the gun. And the Pistons, of course, with a great defense. The Lakers almost with a 24-second violation, having to force a shot at the end. Prince will drive. Softly puts it in. With a gravel and sand. Three on the timer. Billups at the horn, got it. Bryant gets it back. Off balance.
Look at the traffic.
2-on-0 break. Automatic for Billups. Medvedenko. Well, even Medvedenko's passing up open shots. And that's going to put Bryant in a bind, and he'll have to launch a prayer. And he does. Payton with 8 points tonight. His best output in this series. And then Payton knocks it into the corner, and that creates the Lakers steal. Bryant's got Walton with him, and Kobe for the jam to give the Lakers the lead.
I mean, anytime Kobe Bryant right now can get an open shot, it's a good thing for the Lakers.
Walton drives. Couldn't get it to O'Neal underneath. Bryant slithers through and banks it in to Payton. 6 on the 24. Walton to the corner. Bryant.
Another tough shot. Another tough shot. That's where someone else is going to have to make.
Whoa, baby, in the house erupts.
3 long shots. The Pistons are scoring 2 ways this evening. Fast break.
Kobe Bryant back in the game, almost lost control. Gives it to Shaq. He scores and gets fouled.
You're going to see Shaq on the line a bunch now.
Billups from beyond the arc. Bryant. Wallace comes all the way out to midcourt. And Bryant himself banks it in. Oof.
Never are out of it in a basketball game.
Well, the Lakers were down by 6 with 36 ticks the other night, and you know what happened. And here's Bryant making it a 6-point game. 32 points in the fourth quarter for Detroit. O'Neal will end it with a meaningless lay-in to cap for him a 20-rebound and 36-point night.
You have to take advantage of Gary Payton, and that's his size.
Payton loses, stolen by Wallace. He's out in front all alone. 21-18 on the steal by Big Ben.
Game will come to him. That's what they're looking from Kobe Bryant tonight, guys.
Michelle, that last foul was on Eldon Campbell. Now Bryant nearly has it taken away and does, in fact, by the hands of Hunter, leading to a Hamilton after 2 O'Neal misses. Now Bryant puts one up. Kobe stays cold. Bryant puts one up.
Well, I think the Pistons love when he settles.
He's 3 out of 10. The Lakers are 11 of 19. Dan Wallace over Brian Russell.
The Detroit Pistons.
Bryant. Give and take with Shaq. Goaltender.
Ben Wallace did that on purpose, Al. He knew it was going in. He wants to show the intimidation factor of the Detroit Pistons. This reminds me of Patrick Ewing against Villanova. Just knock it out to scare him. He didn't care. That's the 3rd straight 3.
Now Bryant will drive, hang in the lane, nothing goes, and Ben Wallace.
And what is he going to do to change this basketball team?
Prince. Lakers will end their season unraveling in this series. Detroit ends it on a high note, and they just add exclamation point after exclamation point as the clock ticks down. The Detroit Pistons, wow, who won the